lead by De Gea again. It's a siege on the United goal. Still Arsenal cannot score.
You are bang on, Tom. It is a siege. It's a red and white siege at the moment. But they cannot make the breakthrough. This is so resilient from United.
Here's Ozil now, drifting into the area. Ramsey tries to find a return ball. It's too heavy. And Ozil won't be able to get it, and that may be the final chance of this first half. Just a minute to go with 2-0 the scoreline to Manchester United. And David De Gea has made a couple of great saves there from the wing-backs.
That's a brilliant save from a terrific strike from Hector Bayer, and it's a rocket aiming for the bottom corner. He could not have hit it any sweeter. And then just seconds later, Kolasinac gives him a really awkward save to make. It bounces in front of him, skims off the turf. Two decent saves from the Spaniard. Arsenal cannot believe they haven't scored in this first half.
Here's Ozil now, drifting to a shot of Arsene Wenger on our monitors, and he very much shares your opinion, just shaking his head in just shock really that Arsenal's utter dominance of the game since they went 2-0 down hasn't resulted in a goal. But how often do we see it in the Premier League? The first goal is so often the most crucial in this division.
It is, yeah.
And you can't just give it away.
No, you can't. Look, Arsenal gave Manchester United a 2-goal head start in this game. Two calamitous defensive errors. And look, the response has been outstanding. But you've got to score. You've got to make this pressure count.
And Nemanja Matic, who's been exemplary in this first half, has given a sloppy free kick away here as Sanchez was edging forward. 3 minutes added on at the end of this half for Arsenal to try and get a goal. Their attacking players probably, or definitely deserved.
Yeah, we talked ahead of kicker. What's going to be the key area? I mentioned central midfield. Two of the best players on the pitch, Matic and Pogba. No doubt about that. For all of Arsenal's pressure, they've both made huge contributions for Man United, and Jose needed that from them.
Free kick here for Arsenal. It's about 4 or 5 yards away from the attacking left corner of the penalty area. Out left, so unlikely to be a shot, but it is Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil over the ball.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Gets away from another, curled it into the top corner. It is a moment of Merseyside magic from Mo Salah. He's done it again. His 19th of the season.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
With Defoe in the penalty area, dips one. Oh, that is a magnificent goal from Jermaine Defoe. Absolutely stunning from Jermaine Defoe.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Lanzini back to Arnautovic. He's inside the box. There is his first goal for West Ham. Arnautovic took it beautifully. He curled it low past Courtois.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Rolls it into the feet. Little layup. Arfield can get punched back. 1-0. Arfield opens the scoring in the 45th minute. Burnley's strike against the 10th man of Watford.
Every game is covered.
Boy lifts it in left-footed. It's a deep cross. It's headed on by Meunier, and it's 2 for Meunier. Well, like London buses, the goals are now pouring in for Steve Meunier.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's Gale. Good shot, goal! Dwight Gale's put Newcastle level. Crisp low shot from the edge of the penalty area. Low pass, Schmeichel in a flag.
This is Premier League Live.
Crosses to Olivier Giroud. Equaliser for Arsenal. And as so often, Olivier Giroud off the bench to rescue Arsene Wenger.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game involves the two things in life you love the most.
Football and money.
Exactly predict 10 or more Premier League scores and win £1 million sterling.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season. Win £1 million sterling.
£1 million.
Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions. Premier League Live with TalkSport.
The pressing goes on. De Bruyne is delivered. Silva's in behind. Oh, gets the touch and scores the goal. They might just win it after all.
Bringing you all the goals from every game, right across the country, from the world's biggest and best league.
Lacazette, great save! Sanchez, great save! David De Gea, utterly phenomenal goalkeeping.
Oh, this is an absolute joke.
English football at its finest.
It's a dink down the centre. It's the Panenka penalty from Eden Hazard.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
Welcome to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham against Southampton from Wembley. I'm your host Tim Long, and alongside me the former Chelsea, Millwall and Swindon striker Sam Parkin. You're listening to Premier League Live. After a day of overindulgence for many yesterday, be prepared to loosen your belt and settle on the sofa again. Football's biggest feast of the festive period begins here on Boxing Day, and how appropriate to follow a national religious holiday for the majority. We're at the National Stadium for Spurs against the Saints. As for the stakes, Tottenham are once again targeting a place in the top four and could leapfrog Liverpool with a win, at least until the Reds play later today. For Southampton, it's becoming more and more about staying clear of the bottom three, without a win in 6 and just 3 points above the relegation zone. A busy period for all, but Mauricio Pochettino makes just 2 changes from Tottenham's 3-0 win at Burnley 3 days ago. Moussa Dembele replaces Moussa Sissoko in midfield, and Danny Rose is in for Ben Davies at left back. The full lineup sees Lloris in goal, a back four of Aurier, Sanchez, Vertonghen and Rose, a midfield 2 of Dembele and Dyer, and then Son, Ali and Eriksen playing behind Harry Kane up front. For Southampton, Maurizio Pellegrino makes 4 alterations from his side's 1-1 home draw with Huddersfield. Charlie Austin begins a 3-game ban. Ward-Prowse, Tadic and Davis all drop to the bench. Shane Long gets the nod ahead of Gabbiadini up front, with Romeu, Højbjerg and Boufal also coming in. So they go with Forster in goal, the back four Stevens, Yoshida, Hoot and Target, the midfield Romeu, Lemina and Højbjerg, and then Boufal and Redmond supporting Long up front. First of all, a happy holidays to Sam Parkin alongside me and to everybody listening around the world. Sam, what do you make of those lineups right in the thick of the winter period, and you'd expect a few changes?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a little look at Tottenham's fixtures that are coming up, and they've got some winnable games, starting with those 2 next week against Swansea and West Ham. So very strong Tottenham this afternoon. Obviously played at Burnley at the weekend, but I think he's probably earmarked those 2 games in a week's time to think that potentially he could shuffle the pack then. Southampton obviously going to be missing their talisman Charlie Austin. 5 starts for him. They struggled for goals early part of the season, and since he's come back into the fold he's been scintillating, so that'll be my concern for them. Tottenham, good home form at the moment after those early season wobbles. Going to have to predict a home win, but you know, Southampton, good side, play good football, and they've got 2 very, very strong boys in the midfield area. I expect them probably to pack the midfield today and try and limit Tottenham to a few chances.
And those 4 changes for Southampton, a couple of their higher paid players, a couple of their higher transfer fees coming in terms of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Sofiane Boufal, 2 players, along with Mario Lemina, who arrived in the summer, who've not quite lived up to the price tag just yet, and they'll have something to prove at Wembley.
Yeah, they will, absolutely. Good opportunity for them. Obviously know what Boufal's capable of on his day, and you just touched on the manager going for Shane Long instead of Gabbiadini. I mean, the last time they were here at the stadium, I read it was the Manchester United game, and Gabbiadini in the League Cup, and Gabbiadini was probably one of the form players in the country, so he has really fallen from grace in the last year. A predator, he's a poacher of goals. Maybe he doesn't contribute enough in his all-round game, so good opportunity for Shane Long this afternoon in the absence of Charlie Austin.
Let's take a couple of minutes at the start of the show here to talk about Tottenham's in-form striker Harry Kane. He got a match ball as an early Christmas present at Burnley. 2 significant landmarks he could hit today here. First of all, 1 goal would see him break Alan Shearer's Premier League record for goals in a calendar year. They're tied on 36 at the moment. That's a record from Shearer that stood for 22 years.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, it's the amount of games he's done it in as well. You forget that Harry Kane was hampered with injury at the start of this campaign as well. So, yeah, he's in astonishing form. There's been some nice highlights coming up on the Spurs website of some goals he got early on in his career during his academy time, and he's always been a very clinical finisher when he gets in. I think it's the athleticism and the strength that he's obviously had to work on. He had that period when he went out to Millwall and Norwich and didn't really set the world alight. So I think it's that all-round hunger to want to improve. He's probably done work on his sprinting, on his upper body strength, but you know, when he gets in, Harry Kane, irrelevant of what level it's been at, I think, you know, everyone knows what a good finisher he is, either foot, and he's back in amazing form at the moment.
The other potential record locked in his sights today, perhaps 1 goal would tie and 2 would surpass Lionel Messi as the greatest goal scorer on the planet in 2017. 53 goals so far for club and country this calendar year. Messi has 54.
Yeah, you'd have to say, you know, the last few years they've been in a different league, Messi and Ronaldo, and for someone in this country to be on the cusp of achieving it, it's incredible. And you'd have to say that the majority of the games that Harry Kane plays in as well are probably slightly more competitive than those in La Liga, week in, week out. Obviously you have the Champions League games thrown into the mix there, and obviously the El Clasico, etc. But in terms of the vigour of the Premier League games and the fixtures that Harry Kane's done this achievement in is incredible.
So you're saying just quickly then now that he is at that level?
I wouldn't say at that level in terms of a goal scorer. In terms of a finisher, I don't think there's anyone better. Can Harry Kane dominate games and pull his team out the mire when they're really under the cosh and turn a game on its head? I don't think so. I think there's very few players that can do that. I think Harry Kane makes Tottenham an exceptional team. You know, when really at times in the last few months they've struggled for continued great form.
OK, we'll find out over the next couple of hours if Harry can break those records in the final game of the calendar year for him and Tottenham. But first, when we come back, we'll preview the rest of the day's action. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Gets away from another, curled it into the top corner. It is a moment of Merseyside magic from Mo Salah. He's done it again. His 19th of the season.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
With the bow in the penalty area. Dips one. Oh, that is a magnificent goal from Jermaine Defoe. Absolutely stunning from Jermaine Defoe.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Lanzini back to Arnautovic. He's inside the box. There is his first goal for West Ham. Arnautovic took it beautifully. He curled it low past Courtois.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Rolls it into the feet. Little layup. Arfield can get past man fighting it. 1-0. Arfield opens the scoring in the 45th minute. Burnley's strike against the 10th man of Watford.
Every game is covered.
Boy lifts it in left-footed. It's a deep cross. It's headed on by Meunier, and it's 2 for Meunier. Well, like London buses, the goals are now pouring in for Steve Meunier.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's Gale. Good shot, goal! Dwight Gale's put Newcastle level. Crisp low shot from the edge of the penalty area. Low pass, Michael in a flag.
This is Premier League Live.
Crosses to Olivier Giroud.
Equaliser for Arsenal, and as so often, Olivier Giroud off the bench to rescue Arsene Wenger.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game involves the two things in life you love the most:
football and money.
Exactly predict 10 or more Premier League scores and win £1 million sterling.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season. Win £1 million sterling.
£1 million.
Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
Welcome back to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham against Southampton from Wembley. Before we go ahead and preview the rest of the day's games, let's take a look back at the best of the action in the Premier League from this past weekend.
Arnautovic scores for West Ham United. The early goal, and the man in form, Arnautovic, has found the net again. Save stands over the ball, so too Matt Ritchie. Save with the free kick. Oh, what a goal! Well, that's atoned his early error.
Here's Choupo-Moting, 30 yards out. Moting the edge of the box. His shot takes a big deflection. Might pull in a crouch on the volley, and then knocked in by Joe Allen. It's Stoke who take the lead. Or Prowse's corner looking for Hurt, and it's in from Charlie Austin. It's been coming. He can't stop scoring in the Premier League. An England call-up maybe beckons for Charlie Austin. It's Southampton 1, Huddersfield 0.
Silva gets it under control. Fernandinho. Chance for Aguero, 1-0. No offside flag. Sergio Aguero around the penalty spot. Not it beyond Asmir Begovic.
Here is Joe Allen now wrestling through. And he's sent through Choupo-Moting. Foster's come. Moting's done it with the eyes. Moting now with an empty net. Makes it 2-0. Right before the half-time whistle. Rudd chips it forward. Rondon is onside here. Rondon on the volley. Makes it 2-1. West Brom have their lifeline. They have their way back into this game.
To Atsu through the legs of Zabaleta. Atsu with a cross, and that is a fantastic goal. And Newcastle United are back in front. And the man that doesn't want to celebrate is Mohamed Diame. Here's Antonio for West Ham United into the penalty area. He goes down in the penalty area. And what's the referee given? Penalty? Yes. Ayew from the spot, saved, and returns for Antonio, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Zaha cutting in from the left, finds Loftus-Cheek with the reverse. Loftus-Cheek into the area, is tripped, and that's a penalty to Crystal Palace. No Benteke today, and that means Luka Milivojevic will step up to try and score another penalty, and he puts it down the middle. Fabianski dives the wrong way
into the box, and number 3. They've extended their lead further, and Atsu steers the ball into the corner.
Goes back onto his right foot, and Aurelio Gomez has let it slip through his hands, and Brighton have the lead that they deserve. It's from the right-hand side for Depoitre, and that's the equaliser. He can't stop scoring at the moment. It's 3-2 for Laurent Depoitre.
And it goes towards Carroll, and it's thrust into the roof of the net by Ayew. And West Ham have got their second goal. Game on.
Oh, it's an absolute perler from Jordan Ayew. But when you're down at the bottom of the Premier League, you need a moment of magic to try and drag yourselves back into contention. And Ayew, on as a substitute, has done just that.
Bends it in with his left foot to Aguero. What a cross. What a header. 2 for Aguero. 3 for City. That's game over. He's got Danilo. 4-0 to Manchester City. Goal 101 in the calendar year.
To Choupo-Moting, who's through on goal. Foster's off his line. Choupo-Moting squares it to Chauvet, to Sealy. It's Stoke 3. West Bromwich Albion 1.
In towards Lacazette. Back to Ozil. I don't believe it. It's 3-2 Arsenal.
Ashley Young and Juan Mata over it. It is Mata! Oh, it's majestic from Mata. Finds the top corner.
Firmino. Brilliant save. Chep, and it's gone in anyway. I thought he'd saved him, but he's pushed it up and over and it's gone in.
Towards Maguire! Oh, he's done it! He's done it for Leicester City! In the 94th minute, Harry Maguire has turned the ball home for the Foxes, who never, ever quit. Leicester 2, Manchester United 2.
That was the best of the action from this past weekend, and here is this current game week. Today we start with Tottenham against Southampton at Wembley. Manchester United against Burnley is our feature game from 3 p.m. UK time, and then the evening game, Liverpool at home to Swansea. Elsewhere at 3, Bournemouth host West Ham United, Chelsea against Brighton, Huddersfield take on Stoke, Watford at home to Leicester, and West Brom against Everton. Tomorrow, Newcastle United against Manchester City, and then on Thursday the game week finishes with Crystal Palace against Arsenal. Sam Parkin alongside me, Tim Long, today. Sam, there's little point talking about the title race now. I think it's just about over. United could take it back to 10 points today before City play tomorrow, but it would have to be a record implosion from Manchester City at this stage now with this lead.
Yeah, incredible consistency that they've shown. Everyone's been waiting maybe for a little bit of a wobble, seeing if there's any deficiencies in their make-up defensively, but so far they're just brushing everyone aside. I mean, obviously we're about to see Tottenham today, and that was a real thumping up at the Etihad a week or so ago, so you can't see anything but a Manchester City victory away at Newcastle tomorrow. But, you know, maybe there's going to be a wobble. It could come in one of these fixtures over the holiday period. So many games coming together to remain so consistent is very, very difficult, but it's looking like the race for the top 4 is taking shape now. Probably that Liverpool at Arsenal the other day is probably giving Tottenham renewed hope when it looked like they were just stuttering a little bit. Tottenham have put together another good run, and they need to win the games like this afternoon. They've got really good fixtures coming up before horrendous January when they play Juventus in the Champions League and some of the top clubs in this country. So I think that's where we're going to get probably the excitement factor from the Premier League this year, is probably that top 4 race again. Indeed,
the fight for the top 4 and the relegation battle far more interesting than the title race at the moment. We focus on Tottenham first today. Looking at the table, Tottenham just a point behind 4th placed Liverpool, can overtake them today, although of course Liverpool play later this afternoon. Arsenal on the same points as Tottenham, have to wait to face Palace in a couple of days. So 34 points for Arsenal, 34 for Tottenham, 35 for Liverpool. Burnley just a couple of points further back in 7th place. Now it looks like it's going right down to the wire for that all-important 4th spot, doesn't it, Sam? Who would you pick out of those 3 teams, Tottenham, Liverpool and Arsenal, given the current form at the moment?
Well, I'd probably still have to go for Tottenham, and I think I've probably changed my mind in that regard over the last month or so. I felt that to be fighting on the Champions League front, which they're obviously doing superbly well in, aligned to that being in a neutral stadium for the season, I felt it was going to be too difficult to pick up the required points. But the home form is very good now. They're winning games comfortably, and obviously they've got the threats in the team. Lamela coming back to fitness as well. I think that's really important for them. Fans have bemoaned the fact that they haven't really got that player that can go beyond people. They had it with Kyle Walker, Danny Rose from the wide areas, but in terms of attacking players, I think it's all sometimes a little bit in front of teams. So Lamela coming back, I think it's going to be, a boost for the squad. Alderweireld, Wanyama to come back into the mix. I probably think they've got just about a strong enough squad to fight on the Champions League front as well as the Premier League front.
And moving to the bottom end of the table now, Southampton in 13th, just 3 points outside the bottom 3, but you can go right up to 10th place Watford, only 6 points outside the relegation zone. 11 teams, do you think, now in that relegation battle?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to pick out 3 or even to make a case for 1 to be gone. Swansea are probably going to install a new manager, and like with Paul Clement last year, they are able to rally themselves and get enough points to stay in the division. So who's to say they can't bring in 3 players, appoint a new manager and really rally in the second part of the season? Half of the season, so definitely going to be probably more competitive than the top end of the table. The Crystal Palace and the West Hams of this world, both muchly improved under their new managers, and can see those 2 being alright for sure.
So looking at the table, Swansea bottom on 13 points, West Brom a point above them, Bournemouth 2 above them on 16 in the final relegation place. West Ham only a point out of trouble at the moment, and then a point above them Palace and Newcastle, only a point above them Stoke and Southampton, and as I say, you can go right up to Watford Watford, who are only a further 3 points clear. Looking at today's fixtures, Bournemouth against West Ham, Huddersfield against Stoke, they stand out as the big 6-pointers, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and like I said, Bournemouth are really struggling at the moment. A couple of heavy defeats, and also struggling for numbers at the top end of the pitch. I think 4 recognised strikers now carrying injuries, so going to be difficult in terms of goal scoring for them. West Ham, the question, of course, now is, can they play entertaining football and grind out some results rather than just being very defensively well set up and just getting over the line like they did in the Chelsea game, for example. So that question was obviously not answered emphatically last time out against Newcastle at home. They were probably wanting to come out and be a little bit more entertaining in front of their home support, but left themselves open. So that should be a tight game there, I would suggest. And Stoke, they've been desperate need for a result. They got it last time out, and you just think, I know Mark Hughes rubbed people up the wrong way, and I think just because of the experience of keeping teams in the division, they should be okay.
And when you think about those 4 clubs in those 2 games that have the chance to get 3 points today, and you look at Southampton, Swansea, Brighton, Newcastle and Palace all facing the top 6 this game week, it's a great opportunity to make up ground or get a bit of breathing room, isn't it, for those 4?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the point you make about some of those clubs up to Watford and Huddersfield, I mean, they could be, or Brighton even, could be one of those clubs that invariably we see one that goes into a little bit of free fall after, maybe with a promoted side, they lose that real energy, that boost that they have of coming up from the Championship. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't rule out one of those sides being dragged into real danger.
We've looked at the top and the bottom, so let's quickly mention the in-betweeners. Few of them this season. Burnley, Leicester and Everton, really, that's it, isn't it? Might any of those sneak into the European places?
Probably be too difficult for Burnley, first and foremost, to maintain their form. It's been tremendous, but they've got a very set way of playing, Burnley, and obviously they pick up the majority of their points in the home matches, so I think that they'll struggle to remain as consistent as they have. Leicester really impressed me the last few games. Manchester United, and even in defeat against Crystal Palace, Leicester's a very good Premier League side now. They've had a few different managers, obviously, after the title success, but still got good players, the majority of that side at the football club, and expect them to be competitive but probably finish somewhere in the middle of the table. And likewise Everton, I think they could potentially be the ones that have a much better second half of the season compared to what they've had to endure in the first half. Obviously Sam's got them very defensively organised, as you would expect, but Rooney's been scoring goals and Yas had a tremendous season, really like what I've seen from him, and Calvert-Lewin, one of the best young players in this country, so there's nothing to say that Sam won't rally them and to have a real strong second half of the season.
OK, let's turn our attention back to our first live commentary of the day and hear from the 2 managers, Maurizio Pellegrino of Southampton, but first Tottenham's Maurizio Pochettino.
A lot for us to be again in a position to compete for the top 4 and change a little bit the atmosphere and the feeling from last week.
He's doing really well job because he's in Champions League, in the position that everybody wants to be, competing well, fighting for top 4, top 5, top 6. The sport now is really competitive. It's the goal of every single club, every single manager.
We always expect from Dele Alli that not only work, run and everything, if not score too. But I feel and we feel that it's coming because he's so special and his character and in the way that he plays. Sometimes the crowd is focused on him, but it was an action, was danger action, was yellow card, and then the penalty was penalty.
I think around him will be a lot of speculation, and we have to wait what happened.
We need to, like you say, to keep the momentum, to try to win again, to be consistent. If you want to fight on the end for big things, is try to be consistent.
The Spurs then a comprehensive victory at Burnley after a difficult run on the road, over their Wembley curse as well. They look to be getting very much back to their best now, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was very difficult for him to break teams down in the early part of the season at Wembley. Teams come in and knowing the attacking riches that Tottenham have, and just being very negative and trying to escape from North London with a point. But I think that the Stoke game recently was a bit of a turning point. I felt with the fixtures that Stoke had coming up, the 6 pointers that we've just alluded to, that was an opportunity for Spurs, where maybe a struggling side may take their eye off the ball a little bit, and that's how it played out. I mean, Spurs were absolutely rampant on that day, followed up with a good victory against Brighton at home as well, and things are looking good there. They've had the brilliant European nights, and they've got such pace going forward, and a line to Harry Kane's form as well. We've had Son, who's been playing out of his skin in tremendous goal scoring form as well, so he's been well aided in the last few weeks as well. We're still really waiting for Dele Alli to catch fire, and it's been a little bit problematic. You know, obviously there's been a few indiscretions as well recently in terms of his discipline, so need to get him back playing well, but still sees it being a really difficult afternoon for Southampton, especially given their lack of goals.
Yeah, on the flip side, it's been a real struggle for the Saints without a win in 6, even when Charlie Austin has been available and scoring. Going back a little further, just 1 win in their last 10, and Austin starts a 3-game ban today, and aside from him, nobody has scored more than 3 goals in the Premier League for them.
Yeah, it's a worry, and he's left out Tadic today, and Stephen Davis as well. He's normally there rocking in central midfield, probably because the amount of games over the holiday period. But yeah, I do worry about that lack of goals, of course, for Southampton. They'll be an entertaining, attractive looking side, as they always are. They have the ethos running through the football club for a number of years now, and seem to get that continuity with whatever manager's appointed. So big afternoon defensively for him. Jack Stevens at right back's probably a bit of a concern for me, normally a centre half, so we'll see how he deals with Son.
Okay, it's top 4 chasing Tottenham taking on survival focused Saints. Kick-off between Spurs and Southampton from Wembley is less than 5 minutes away. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Salah into the penalty area. Mo Salah gets it through. Firmino! 3-0. Counter-attacking football at its best. Roberto Firmino.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
Here's Aguero trying to find a way through. Sergio Aguero, as he does so well. Brilliant goal. Marvellous goal by Sergio Aguero.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Ball comes in towards Willian, breaks back to Pedro. It's 3-0 to Chelsea, but it's all too easy.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Calvert-Lewin gets it back from Rooney as well. Again, better from Everton. Crosses the middle. It's Lennon with the header this time. The keeper spills it, and Wayne Rooney turns it home.
Every game is covered.
Mesut Ozil wants it back. This would be a lovely goal. Mesut Ozil into Olivier Giroud. Arsenal have doubled their advantage. It's a simply superb goal from Arsenal. A beautiful collective move.
Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's the corner, swung in well on, the header's in, it's a goal! West Ham have equalised, and Cheku Kouyaté is celebrating. The equaliser for West Ham from the corner in the final minute of the first half.
This is Premier League Live.
Headed away that time by Stevens, and that's deflected and in. Ashley Young with a shot in top of Lewis Dunk, and it curls into the top corner. Ashley Young will take the credit for it, but it's a wicked deflection off of Lewis Dunk.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
Welcome to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham against Southampton from Wembley. I'm your host Tim Long, alongside me the former Chelsea, Millwall and Swindon striker Sam Parkin. You're listening to Premier League Live. Ahead of today's kick-off, let's take a final check on the two lineups for Tottenham. It's Lloris in goal, a back four of Aurier, Sanchez, Vertonghen and Rose, Dembele and Dyer in midfield, Son, Ali and Eriksen playing behind Kane up front. For Southampton, Forster the goalkeeper, the back four Stevens, Yoshida, Hoot and Target, the midfield three Romeu, Højbjerg and Lamina, and then Boufal and Redmond supporting Shane Long up top. But whatever you call today, wherever you're listening, in England this is a box office Boxing Day of top flight football. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 11 on this day, winning 8 of those and not losing since 2003. Southampton are unbeaten in 6 on Boxing Day, winning 5 of those. So one of those streaks could well end today, but for sheer entertainment, let's hope the Saints' recent record at Wembley continues. Their last 4 trips to the National Stadium have produced an average of 5 goals a game. And Southampton will get us underway in their two-shaded blue away strip as they attack the goal across to our left. Tottenham, of course, in the white tops, dark blue shorts and white socks, attacking the goal away to our right. And straight away, a high press from Tottenham on the kickoff forces the ball back for a throw-in over on the far side, about level with the edge of the Southampton penalty area. Spurs will try and pen them in that position, and Southampton able to clear the ball out to the far side, where the two managers are already out on the edge of their technical areas. A big game for both at opposite ends of the table, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. For different reasons, they would want to give themselves some breathing space. Southampton pick up a result after a few indifferent results, and Tottenham need to keep that pressure up. In the top 4 charge. I think the results have been really good in recent weeks. Struggled a little bit away from home, but scintillating that Burnley. Very convincing victory up at Turf Moor.
Good pressing from Southampton this time, and Aurier had to come across and help out Vertonghen, who actually pulled back one of the Saints players just off the near corner of the Tottenham penalty area, and that was after a threatening run in behind from Shane Long as well that Davinson Sanchez saw to. So Southampton starting on the front foot too, and this is a free kick in a good position.
Yeah, I think it was Wesley Hoot at one end, just dallied on the ball, and that was Vertonghen a little bit loose with his possession, and that's what you'll get from Shane Long for the lack of goals. You'll get 100% effort, charging down lost causes, and he's very, very important for Southampton in regard to getting them up the pitch.
It's Matt Target as the left-footed option, Sofiane Boufal as the right-footed option, only a couple of yards off the near corner of the penalty area as Southampton look to whip it in towards the goal to our left. It is Boufal towards the back post, but not high enough. It took a deflection off the Spurs wall, with part of it being punched away by Lloris across to the far side and out for a Saints throw.
Just didn't get it up. Boufal, I think it was Son, just hoped that he could get something on the ball and just diverted it well away from the Tottenham goal, up in the air.
Throwing about parallel with the edge of the penalty area to be taken on that far side by Jack Stevens. And he'll get a second bite of the cherry as Spurs force it out of play again. Back it goes to Redmond. Flick down the line towards Nathan Redmond, who's trapped by Danny Rose to the corner flag. And Southampton this time win the throw-in right next to the corner flag, and we see our first close-up of Danny Rose with that big plaster across his forehead, Sam.
Yeah, don't know what's gone on there. Must have been a training ground accident, probably in the lead up to Christmas.
Cross into the penalty area, rifled towards goal by Boufal. He brought it down well, didn't make a clean connection with his second touch though, and Tottenham able to force Southampton back into their own half, all the way back to Maya Yoshida, who plays it long down the right flank, and Vertonghen is there and should clear for Tottenham. But we've played 3 minutes, still Tottenham 0, Southampton 0, but the Saints certainly are playing without fear at Wembley.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all teams are going to enjoy coming to Wembley this season, and they need a reaction as well. Southampton, they've not been in the best of form in recent weeks. got a point against Huddersfield last time out, so a few new players given an opportunity this afternoon that have been out of the team.
Romeo won it back but gave it away. Here's Eriksson, left-footed from 25 yards out, didn't catch that one cleanly, and it took a deflection on the edge of the penalty area before skipping wide of the target, so Tottenham get themselves a corner. Yeah,
Dele Alli that time pops up in the centre forward position, puts some pressure on Hoot. Just a straight leg from him, diverts it away from the 18-yard box, but Eriksson willing to take the strike on, left-footed, sting taken out of it, and just skews wide of the upright.
The first corner of the game to be taken by the Tottenham left-back Danny Rose. Plenty of height in there for Spurs as it comes in left-footed towards the goalkeeper Fraser Forster, headed away by one of his defenders in front of him, and Eriksson will recover in a deep position. Dembele over the top to Vertonghen on the far side. Back to Moussa Dembele. He'll be looking square for Danny Rose here, who touches it back for Serge Aurier, just off the edge of the centre circle now, and Southampton well set in their defensive shape. Vertonghen playing like a left winger at the moment. He's looking down the line for Heung-min Son. Son trying to squeeze across in low from the far side, deflected away back to Vertonghen, and Dembele forced back, and Spurs start again from halfway. Here's Son, hugging the far touchline now, looking to dance inside towards the edge of the box. Couple of step overs, whips it in, might be a chance for Aurier at the back post. Forster had committed himself and didn't get much of a clean connection to the cross that came in from the far side. Aurier had a chance to strike at a half-open goal, but it was blocked by the defender just a couple of yards off the line. Son over on the far side, much better from Tottenham now, applying pressure to Southampton for the first time in the game. Although, good play to try and dribble clear on the far side. No free kick given, the ball back with Danny Rose, and Tottenham could try and keep the pressure on.
Yeah, great early opportunity there for Spurs to edge in front. Son just so direct at the moment. Problem for Stevens, he can go either way. Step over onto his left side, and Forster wasn't able to push it away really from danger. Aurier probably, in retrospect, should have done better on his left side.
Southampton keep the ball in play on this near side, but present it straight to Dele Alli, who skips away from the challenge of Lamina. There's a big chance here. Eriksson one side, Kane the other. It's Eriksson into the near post, and Harry Kane was making the run across that front post. Got a touch to it, but didn't quite get his angles right, and tickled the twine on the side of the net.
Yeah, I think Dele Alli will be disappointed. He probably could have just put a little bit less on that. Eriksson maybe could have taken the strike on himself, had to therefore square it along the 6-yard box, and Harry Kane, if Eriksson's a little bit wider, it's the right run because he's gone right across the near post, but I think they were too tight together. Harry Kane maybe would have been better just holding his position in the 18-yard box, would have been presented with a tap-in by Eriksson, but got across the goalkeeper, but the angle was just so narrow to force it in.
We just saw a replay on the monitor in front of us of that first chance as well, the cross that was palmed away by Forster straight to Aurier. It was Matt Target who got in the way of Aurier's half-heartedly struck attempt. So Southampton survive a couple of scares, and we've played only 6.5 minutes. Long ball down the line towards Redmond over on the far side. He tries to turn it back in field, headed away by Davinson Sanchez, picked up by Dembele in space, forward to Ali. Ali outside of the right boot, stopped by the heel of Jack Stevens before it could reach Son. Tottenham certainly finding their flow here. Kane trying to put pressure on Wesley Hoot. Forward it goes to Romeo. Nice footwork from him in between 3 players, but eventually dispossessed. Here's Son on the far side. Southampton a little bare at the back. Dyer's going to strike it from range, palmed away better this time from Forster as he clears the ball outside the penalty area. Aurier back to Eriksson, 25 yards out, edge of the D on his left foot. Here's Dele Alli trying to play it into Dyer again. Eriksson, is he onside here? No, he's not. The ball ends up in the back of the net after some intricate Tottenham passing, but the flag up on the near side bails out Southampton.
Yeah, all over the place defensively in these early exchanges. I was looking at Jack Stevens. He was 30 yards up the pitch compared to his 2 centre-halves. I don't know what he was doing there. And Tottenham a little bit too intricate maybe in their passing. Eriksson strayed slightly offside. Maybe Dyer could have just taken the strike on a little bit earlier, but very open at the moment. Southampton flooding bodies forward, not looking to just contain.
And if anybody had any doubts about whether Tottenham had found their groove again after that Burnley win, well, they've certainly been answered in the opening 7 or 8 minutes. They've threatened to tear Southampton apart. Here's Long running into the far edge of the penalty area though, and Rose getting back, although he concedes a corner, so it's open at both ends.
Yeah, he was lacking in support there. He just looked to turn back towards the Southampton midfield to probably just keep it alive. Broke the offside trap really well. Not one opportunity to just maybe take a snapshot on, but does well to win a corner for his side.
A really good tempo to start this game. We've played 8.5 minutes. Tottenham 0, Southampton 0 here on Premier League Live. Corner for Southampton from the far side as they attack the goal across to the left. Placed by Matt Targett, the young left back, who's going to curl it in towards the goal of Hugo Lloris. Target in towards the near post, over the top of the first Tottenham defender, but headed away by the next. Southampton throw on the far side about 10 yards from the corner flag. And they'll look to try and keep the pressure on Tottenham, although they're taking their time to do it as Boufal hands over responsibilities to Jack Stevens to take the throw in. Down the line it goes to Boufal. Dembele is opposite number all over him and wins the throw in Spurs' favour. Southampton have found the net in 5 of their last 6 games. Only Chelsea have kept them out in that run. They've only scored more than once in 1 of their last 11 and just 2 of their last 18. That's the problem for them going forward. And of course without Charlie Austin today. Dyer goes to ground, but the ball back in Southampton possession with Targett. Out to Redmond on this near side. Redmond back in field and moved all the way back in the end by Lemina to Yoshida. Stevens touching it down the line. Danny Rose right on top of Boufal concedes the throw.
Yeah, I'd be pleased just to have a little spell of possession. Obviously won that corner Shane Long, and the ball's been in the Tottenham half for the last 2 or 3 minutes after a really fast start from Tottenham. Looked like it was going to be an opening goal very early on. A couple of opportunities. Fraser Forster called into action, but Southampton just stemmed that flow.
Pointed forward to Ericsson. Now a chance to find their flow again, moving forward in transition. Aurier out on this near side, looking to get the cross in from the near edge of the penalty area. Forced towards the corner flag by Targett. Aurier has to go back down the line as Southampton get bodies back and into a good shape. And they, in the end, forced all the way back to Hugo Lloris, so they start from square one, Tottenham. Vertonghen passing out to Dembele, who seems to have plenty of space in the midfield. Harry Kane dropping deep into the centre circle, out towards the near side. Aurier had to scamper back and was able to keep it in play and keep Tottenham in possession. Dyer across to Vertonghen. Eric Dyer just momentarily dropping in between the 2 centre-backs, as he's more than capable of doing. Vertonghen pressed by Boufal, but puts his studs on the ball, and Boufal goes past him. Vertonghen was away, passed it down the line, but unable to control was Danny Rose. Southampton back on the ball as Targett passes it down this near side, left flank for Southampton, and Redmond gets clattered into from behind, so the Saints get the free kick.
Yeah, a rare sloppy touch from Harry Kane, just played into his feet, didn't really look, tried to flip it round the corner, dispossessed, and a clear foul from Aurier crunching into Nathan Redmond just as momentum rather than anything else, and a clear free kick.
Vertonghen on the slide, able to intercept a through ball from Southampton and then gets pulled back, so Tottenham have the free kick with almost 12 minutes played. Still Spurs 0, Saints 0. Here's Davinson Sanchez forward to Eric Dyer just off the edge of the centre circle. He turns and moves forward towards halfway. Serge Aurier finding Dyer again. Ahead of him is Heung-min Son. The ball just lifted towards Son, who had his back to the Southampton goal and had to pass it back into his own half. Across to the far side to Dele Alli, who's over on the left flank now. Ericsson over there as well. These Spurs attacking players so interchangeable and flexible going forward. Here's Dele Alli, 15 yards off the far corner of the box. Chips it in towards the penalty spot. Headed away as far as Ericsson on the edge of the D. Redmond gets his head to the ball as well. Southampton trying a counter-attack here with Højbjerg. He's able to win it off Dembele, and Stevens plays it long, but it's a comfortable interception for Dyer. No outlet at the moment for Southampton. Dembele to Dele Alli. Chased by Romeo to the far edge of the penalty area. Harry Kane cutting in field. Rose forced backwards slightly over on the far touchline, and then presents it straight to Stevens. Romeo inside his own box, remaining composed, passes it out, and Southampton have done well to play a couple of passes here and have a chance to race into some open space into the Tottenham half. Not the best ball at the end of it, though, from target, straight against Aurier, and Lloris off his line to claim.
Yeah, well, with the high line that Tottenham have got, Shane Long's probably a good choice for Southampton this afternoon as a lone front man. They've got that option of just a quick ball, one ball, a hopeful ball, maybe into the channel where they can have a winning runner. They built it a little bit more on that occasion, but Targett still tried to play a little arcing pass around the Tottenham back four towards Long, and there was a heavy deflection and just went through to Lloris. But maybe it would have been a game where the manager would have identified Shane Long playing a part anyway.
Here's Dele Alli, far side of the penalty area from Davinson Sanchez's chip ball. It was an audacious attempt from a man who perhaps is lacking a little bit of confidence, or at least we assumed he might be. He took that one on from just inside the far edge of the box, tight angle, first time inside of the boot on the volley, and it would have had to have been something truly remarkable to beat Fraser Forster from there.
Yeah, he's unlucky, it's just a little bit too high, but he does that really well, breaks beyond Harry Kane at times, and his timing's excellent as well. Looks along the line and he bursts into little gaps and gets a lot of his goals with just like one-touch finishes. Not a dribbler really, Dele Alli, it's more instinctive finishes, and normally his quality is very good. Just with lovely style actually, side-footed, just tried to cushion it back across the goalkeeper, but a bit heavy.
He's not scored since a couple of goals in the famous win over Real Madrid at Wembley in November. In fact, all the way back on November the 1st. It's 9 games without a goal for Dele Alli. It's plenty by his standards, at least the standards he set last season. Tottenham have had 5 attempts on goal already, and we're not quite to the quarter of an hour mark yet. Lovely touch from Boufal to flick it over the head of Dyer here. Redmond on the outside of him, attacking the near edge of the penalty area, trying to play a 1-2 with Boufal, and had it squeezed between a gap of Aurier and Sanchez. He would have been back free into the penalty area. Romeo doing his job well against Harry Kane, winning the ball back. Højbjerg out towards this near side to Matt Targett. Targett trying to play the ball down the line, finds Boufal, who goes one further down the line but didn't get his angles right, as the ball trickles over the sideline and out for a Tottenham throw.
Yeah, poor in the end from Boufal down here, just not enough pitch really, just tried to slide it in behind Aurier for Nathan Redmond, who made a diagonal run, but out of play, and got to 15 minutes Southampton and been better in the last few moments, but probably quite fortunate after a really smart, quick Spurs start.
Another down the line ball for Southampton, this time from the centre back Wesley Hoop, will run all the way behind, I think, for a goal kick, although Davinson Sanchez recovers it with no pressure on him and passes it back to the goalkeeper. Despite those 5 attempts on goal already from Tottenham, Southampton look like they could have moments today, don't they?
Yeah, definitely got trickery and obviously the pace in the wide area of Redmond and Boufal, both extremely talented players. In line to that, like I alluded to, the real pace and thrust of Shane Long at the top end.
Talk about pace and thrust. Aurier trying to skip away, but wonderful defending from Matt Targett on the near edge of the penalty area, and then he rifles the clearance off the shins of the Tottenham player and behind for a goal kick. Aurier really going through the gears then, looking to attack Matt Targett, who's making just his 2nd appearance of the campaign after starting at left back against Huddersfield at the weekend, and he kept up with him all the way.
Yeah, it's a big job for both fullbacks this afternoon of Southampton. Stevens obviously normally a centre-half, and Matt Targett's not played a great deal in the Premier League, so big test for him, and like I said before, kick-off Son's in probably the form of his career, so he gets isolated up on a one-on-one against Jack Stevens. There's going to be difficulties for Southampton.
Stevens has started 4 of the last 5 Premier League games for Southampton now, either at right back or on the right of a back 3. Cedric Suarez is out injured, of course, as to is Ryan Bertrand on the left side. Aurier trying to catch up with this crossfield ball, and even his pace couldn't get him to that one, so Southampton have the throw about 20 yards from their corner flag on this near side. It's a big loss having Ryan Bertrand out at left back. Started the first 18 games of the season before missing these last 2.
Yeah, he's been a big player for him, so much so that been linked with a return to Chelsea, I think, in the last 6 months or to a year, but they're a bit patched up, Southampton.
Eriksson trying to slip it through for Kane, although intercepted by Hoot, the Dutch centre-back, who plays it out to Redmond. And on this near side, Højbjerg, signed from Bayern Munich, able to dribble away from his opposite number, Eriksson, and ping the ball across to Stevens over on the far side. Southampton passing it around, but inside their own half right now. Son harassing Romeo. Back to Yoshida, taken off his toes by Stevens, who goes back to the goalkeeper Forster, and he just puts his right boot laces through it all the way up to halfway. Won back by Vertonghen over the top of Shane Long. And now Son trying to slip it through. Kane threatening to get away from who made well-timed intervention.
Yeah, very good. Just trying to set Harry Kane free. That's a great ball.
Lloris off his line though to win the race ahead of Redmond, which takes some doing. Didn't play it out for a throw-in though, and Spurs have to win it back for him, so he has time to retreat onto his own goal line. Safely back with Davinson Sanchez now, passes out well to Eriksson, who pings one over the top looking for Harry Kane, headed away by Yoshida only as far as Son. Dele Alli's gone on down the line on the left flank, receives it now. Kane getting into the centre, Eriksson arriving late as well. Dele Alli a couple of slow step overs, tries to curl it in towards the near post, and Southampton with enough bodies back there to see out the danger. Aurier, square ball infield to Davinson Sanchez, who's almost halfway inside the Southampton halves. Saints are pegged back at the moment. Son to Eriksson. Eriksson trying to chip one in from a central position, difficult ball to play, headed away back to the feet of Christian Eriksen. And Southampton is set behind the ball in their two backs of four, and then Shane Long just ahead of them, and they're asking the question of Tottenham, can you break us down?
Yeah, this is the pattern that I would have anticipated from the opening minute, but it was actually very open for 15 minutes or so. Now it's Southampton a little bit more defensive, a little bit deeper.
Son passing to Eriksson. Eriksson with Aurier outside of him, just let it get away from him. Aurier into the penalty area there, and Romeo again doing the job of coming across and helping out his defenders, gets his body in the way. Eriksson infield to Dyer. Dyer out to Eriksson again on this near side. Eriksson left-footed, swings his leg through the ball and drives it across to the chest of Danny Rose. 20 minutes played, Tottenham 0, Southampton 0, still the score here on Premier League Live. Rose in a real battle over on the far side, trying to get away from Højbjerg. He's holding him off, he's into the penalty area as well, he's being tripped. Is it a penalty? No! The referee gives the free kick.
It could get even worse for Southampton. Seen plenty of free kicks from these sorts of areas when you get someone like Eriksson over it, hit with real pace towards that far post. If it gets a touch, then great. If not, Forster may well not be able to get there anyway. It's always tough for keepers in this situation. There's a two-man wall, and about 5 or 6 players across the edge of the 6-yard box. It's over them, and it is turned home, as we said. Forster rooted to the spot. It's Kane who gets the goal, and he wheels away to celebrate. We knew it was coming. It was only a matter of time, and it's Kane who heads home.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just gilt edge, wasn't it? Unmarked. Looking for Harry Kane inside the 6-yard box, and he just glances the header into the back of the net. And I don't know who it is who had his hands on his face straight away, but he's obviously really annoyed with his defending there, and rightly so, because that was poor defending from Southampton, allowing Harry Kane to get his 4th goal in 2 games.
Well, we have the breakthrough in this clash, and no surprises, Tottenham starting the better, and they're the side that have gone ahead. It's a free kick taken by Christian Eriksen on the side of the box, out on the left-hand side. He hits it with real pace and whip towards the far post. It may well have gone in on its own, but Harry Kane pops up. Just 3 yards out, he's in front of his marker Romeo, who does such a terrible job of trying to keep pace with Harry Kane. Once you get the wrong side of him, you're never going to get back round, and Kane just simply nods into the back of an open net. 4 goals in his last 2 outings for Harry Kane, who puts Tottenham ahead. It's Tottenham 1, Southampton 0.
You've probably got to blame Højbjerg there, haven't you, really, for giving away that free kick in a dangerous area, you know. And then Romeo really just, I don't know if he was marking Kane or merely just watching him head the ball into the back of the net. It certainly was the second, wasn't it? And he was just behind him. I don't know whether somebody else should have been marking him before, but Tottenham are just rampant now, aren't they? They're just coming forward and trying to get there. But Southampton will try and catch them on the break as Long breaks into the box looking for Redmond. Long will go across, and there's Boufal, who has a shot, and it's palmed away by Lloris. Back over the head, it's in! Oh, it's not too sure. I'm not too sure what's happened there, Bobby.
Bar and post, I think, in the end. Lloris, I think, was happy to come and claim the ball himself, but Rose decided that he was going to head it back to goal, and not even in towards Lloris. He loops the header, doesn't he? And Lloris, coming out towards it, then has to backtrack very quickly. It's Boufal with the initial shot, looping header then from Rose. And I think Lloris tips it onto the bar, then it bounces down off the post, and he eventually collects it, just about avoiding a bit of a red-faced moment. There's a little smile on the face of Hugo Lloris, but they could have been back on level terms just moments after scoring at the other end and doing all of their own hard work. Well, we're over the midway point of this first half then. It is Tottenham 1, Southampton 0. We've had a goal, we've had one ruled out for offside, and we've almost had an own goal as well. It's had plenty of talking points. Hopefully that continues. Paul will take us to full time.
It's that bit of plaster, you know, that's got a bit of extra purchase on that header, I think. So Rose knows as he spins away, he knows exactly what he's done, puts his hand over his mouth, thinking he's a lucky boy there, isn't he, Danny Rose?
And off the hook, brought back in today as well. What a return that would be.
Exactly. Into the 25th minute, and Tottenham have the goal advantage that they've perhaps deserved. They've been the better side, haven't they, really? So we have a record. Oh, Hugo Lloris's birthday today. Well spotted that for record 37th Premier League goal in 2017 for Harry Kane. Then equaling or beating Alan Shearer?
Record beating, I would imagine. Yeah, we're seeing record broken in front of us.
Yeah. So there we go. Well done him. And he really is in some tip-top form, isn't he? Just keep him fit then for the World Cup next year. We desperately need him to play.
Incredible the fact as well that he still never scored the Premier League goal in August, isn't it?
Yeah.
In any season, but he still seems to end as the season's top scorer and break records for the calendar year.
Absolutely.
What he could do if he scored in that month as well.
Remarkable. His target down the left-hand side, moves the ball into the middle. Well done. Danny Rose is cleared. He didn't know where Shane Long was and clears his lines there. But Target's having a good game down that left-hand side, and Shane Long's movement's pretty good as well, so we can't rule Southampton out. It's just defensively there for that free kick. It was just appalling, really. So they've got something to go forward. Hoyt's going up there as well as Shane Long, and going forward is Jack Stevens. So they've got some big bodies in there of Southampton. Maya Yoshida's in there as well. He was the one with the hands on the head for the goal that Tottenham scored. The delivery from Target beats everybody, so Stevens will go across over to the far side to try and get a cross in. Right foot cross is volleyed away by Jan Vertonghen, and instead Southampton have to do a little bit of defending as Kane hooks the ball over the top, finds Son, and Son will go to the left hand side for Dele Alli. He's going to attack Southampton's right. He's got Rose on the run. Rose goes back to Dele Alli, and Ali will block, and there's Redmond, and he clears away for a corner kick. A good work from Dele Alli and Danny Rose down that far side.
Yeah, nice stuff, isn't it, from that attacking left-hand side. Danny Rose, a player that likes to get forward every opportunity, finds Ali, who eventually wins the corner kick, and they just look like they're clicking today, don't they, Tottenham, certainly in that final third.
They really do. Certainly be a corner kick to be taken by Christian Eriksen. Right footed delivery goes in near post. It's a poor one. It's volleyed away by Stevens, and that goes all the way up to the halfway line. And Moussa Dembele, who we've barely mentioned really in the game so far, he's quite happy to sit in front of the back four, isn't he? You know, brought back into the side today. He's been out injured prior to that. Good to see him back. I always think he's good with the ball, Dembele.
Yeah, I think sometimes a little bit overlooked for the job that he does. You hear a lot of Tottenham players when they speak about different teammates and what qualities they bring. Dembele always seems to be right up there at the top for strength and skill and pace and all the above. So I think it's great when you see him playing.
Here's Eriksen under pressure from Stevens, and Stevens does well to win the ball and move it down the line there for Redmond. Long ball again from Stevens, headed by Dembele. Does a simple things, does he in front of Long, and heads the ball into touch, and it's collected by Mauricio Pellegrino. Some criticism for him in recent times, just because the form's dropped off for Southampton, which is natural for the manager. Good crossfield pass, finds Boufal, breaks into the area. Boufal goes trying to find Target on the overlap. He's stretched there for Target, and Boufal should really be admonished for that, because that was a poor ball after all that, wasn't it?
Yeah, terrible. I mean, it's simple to do, isn't it? You hear the man making the run around the outside of you, and you just look to simply tee it up for him.
Schoolboy defending, we've just seen a replay again. Goal side, isn't he? He's supposed to be goal side, aren't you, Romeo?
You would imagine so.
I mean, he's just stood behind him.
Yep, he's almost holding his hand there. Yeah. He's certainly holding his arm anyway. Kane just knows that his man is wrong side of him and thinks, well, I don't need to move at all in this position. I just stand here. I can trust Eriksen to put good enough quality in to find my head, and that's exactly what he does. It's terrible from Romeu, and a player that I actually rate as well. I think he's normally quite good. Great addition to the side coming back in today, but he's certainly not done them any favours at all there. You're wrong side of Harry Kane. You're never going to get back round the right side. He's so strong. He's so big. He's not going to allow you that chance, no matter who you are. And it obviously led to the goal.
Weird, isn't it? Real weird defending that, really, from Romeu. Why was he on Kane as well?
Yeah.
You know, that's not necessarily his fault. Why was he hurt Yoshida not on Kane? His ball cross comes in, nipped to the near post by Redmond over the far side, but all gathered by Hugo Lloris. So, questions over the Southampton's defending from corner kicks there. And
again, it leads to a question about Van Dijk, doesn't it? I mean, okay, maybe he is going to leave in January, but that's not to say he's not going to play and give you his all in the final few games he's at the club. I think he'd want to show a bit of respect for the Southampton fans that have enjoyed watching him over the last few years since he made his move from Celtic. He would be the one that would be marking Harry Kane, a big commanding figure in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So strange one that from Southampton. You could just see most goals in a calendar year in the Premier League, that is, of course. Harry Kane, 37 he's got now. Here's Christian Eriksen, who's come deep to collect the ball inside his own half, finds Dembele, back to Eriksen again. Eric Dyer must have pushed further back. Are they playing with 3 at the back at the moment? Eric Dyer seems to have slotted in there, doesn't he? So they've just changed systems ever so slightly because Southampton have a little bit of a reward. So they've just pushed the full-backs on there. Dembele tries to find Aurier down the right-hand side. He's got Harry Kane on the overlap now. Hoyt will step across and does well defensively, and it comes off his boot, but he almost conceded a corner there, but instead wraps his leg around it and chucks the ball into touch and concedes a throw. Here is Dembele then cutting across, a quickly taken throw, goes inside for Eriksen, ghosting in, trying to get into his right boot. Eriksen with the shot, and it goes across goal. And the movement of Tottenham there, and in particular Christian Eriksen, was exceptional.
We're over half an hour into this clash now. Tottenham 1, Southampton 0. Spurs still creating chances. They've just had one really good one with Dembele finding Eriksen in the box. He had his head up, looking across goal, trying to drill it into that far corner. It was a couple of yards wide in the end. Kane was also lurking as well. Possibly could have dangled out a boot. Maybe would have got there. Southampton have had a good chance as well now in the match, though. It came initially from a Sofiane Boufal's shot. It was parried away by Hugo Lloris into the path of his defender Danny Rose, who headed back towards his own goal to try and give it his goalkeeper. A bit of confusion between the two because Lloris was coming towards the ball. He had to then backtrack to tip it away and prevent it going into the back of the net onto the post, and it was eventually saved.
It was indeed, and ball makes its way back to Fraser Forster, who, to be honest, has not had a great deal to do apart from pick the ball out of the back of the net, as Shane Long has been caught there after a tussle with Vertonghen. And Graham Scott says, I think the offside flagged up. It was Vertonghen there, was his arm straight across the face of Shane Long. Accidental, I'd say, and a fair challenge, but Long was caught right across the bridge of the nose. He's going to be alright. But he's going to be seeing a few stars, I think. Vertonghen's there and Eric Dyer's there with him, so they're obviously offering some sort of sympathy, but he's going to be alright. Vertonghen says he's alright. Shane Long shakes his head, so play on, I think, after all that drama. I think that's the end of that. But Shane Long back in the side today, causing a few problems. Of course, really disappointed in what Charlie Austin did the other day to get himself suspended. He just scored the goal as well, and I really like Charlie Austin, but there was no need to go across Jonas Lersel's face like that and stick a boot in. Absolutely, utterly irresponsible, that. It was totally unnecessary from him.
Not what you expect from him either. He's not got a reputation for anything like that.
No, definitely not. The Spurs square the ball across to Heung-min Son, who cuts in from the left-hand touchline. Now makes the ball back to Danny Rose, inside for Dembele. 2 men around him straight away. He just brustles past Romeu. Brustles past him. I'm getting a bit of Christmas Day feeling there. Brushed past him. Well, Dembele is Belgian, so, you know. And yeah, he just beat Romeu there. He was not on his game today, Romeu, actually. He seems to be a bit off it at the moment. Free kick given against him, so dangerous area again for Spurs. Try and whip this ball in. Kane's going to be there. I think he's wanting to have a shot, you know. Eriksen's there as well. I'd leave it for Eriksen. He's the man. Takes the set pieces. You've got enough goals, Harry Kane. So yeah, it's a good area this for a right footer because he can angle and curl the ball in. He can either go near post or far post. So it's not a bad angle at all. That it's way to the left of centre. It's almost to the edge of the penalty area. Well, as I say, it's a good angle, isn't it, to try and whip that ball in?
Yeah, it really is. If his England free kicks are anything to go by, though, Southampton won't be worried.
Well, no. And Eriksen moves away, so it will be Harry Kane to take it. And Fraser Forster's a couple of yards off his line. In his upsteps now, Harry Kane, and he hits the top of the wall, and that's exactly how it is, isn't it? Really, how England could use and Christian Eriksen, really, couldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I think, as you pointed out before, it's crucial for me that James Ward-Prowse gets loads of game time. He's someone from those sorts of situations that you'd have a bit of faith in. Maybe even an Ashley Young, to be honest, with what he did against Watford a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you'd have to play with 12 men each, I think, if Ashley Young gets into the England side. But, you know, he's warranted his place in the side at left back at Manchester United. So. Yeah. But yeah, no, James Ward-Prowse is a good curveball, isn't it, really? I think, for the squad. You can't obviously bring him on for a set piece, can you? But
not American football, is it?
But no, but he'd probably be the best one. I mean, Eric Dyer did a wonderful goal, didn't he, against Russia?
Yeah.
Euro 2016.
Power than precision, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So you never know. Is Dembele then trying to move the ball through for Kane and tries to knock it past his man. Mayo moves the ball inside there for Højbjerg, who's going back towards his own goal again, but does well to spin away from several players, but then gets shoved over and wins inside a free kick. That didn't look like that to me. Did to you, Bobby?
No, nothing in it at all for me. I thought he probably bit off a bit more than he could chew, Højbjerg. He'd done well initially, as you said, to skip away from a couple, and then he turned back into traffic. Dembele was never letting him go. I can't see anything wrong with that at all. I think Højbjerg felt there was maybe a bit of pressure on his shoulder and thought, I'll hit the ground and hope for the best, and he was given the chance of a let off by the referee.
Long ball over the top here, just trying to bring Target into Target, I suppose. Ball back into the side, trying to find Lamina. And he switches play to Redmond over the far side and brings it down superbly well. Knocks the ball back then to Stevens. Right footed cross comes in, hooked away by Dembele, and Son will drive the ball forward. This is where Tottenham are dangerous on the counter attack. Good ball from Kane trying to find Ali. In fact, it was just a little bit too in front of him, and Yoshida had a yard and knocked the ball into touch.
Yeah, good covering from Yoshida there, getting out to try and meet Ali. I think that's part of the issue when you defend against Tottenham. They're so fluid in attack, you don't know who's marking who.
Son trying to get the ball back to Eriksen that time, but Southampton just give the ball away, and Dele Alli now 30 yards from goal. A little touch to the right hand side, finds Christian Eriksen. Eriksen's ankles were clipped. Free kick fouled by Boufal, attacking player in a defensive position there, and they take the free kick quickly. Here's Kane, right footed strike over the bar. Dele Alli looks to the skies and has a frustrated look on his face there. He didn't want that.
No, worth a go from Kane, I think. A little bit of pocket of space. Man who's very much in form and can strike it from that distance pretty well. He just lets the adrenaline get the better of him, doesn't he? Gets very much under the ball and plays his high over the crossbar as we see Mauricio Pochettino step out for the first time.
I wonder whether he's going out there and saying to Dele Alli, get back to your position there, because Harry Kane's had a shot. What you don't need is ill discipline from your forwards. Harry Kane always has a shot. Dele Alli should know that.
Yeah.
But just get into the good positions anyway, because you might be called upon.
Yeah.
So now he is in the central position. Danny Rose is there, who cuts inside, leaves too much to be desired, gives the ball away. Dembele's there now. Back to Dyer. And Dyer goes short for Ali, who has possession now. Finds Aurier down the right hand side. Ball into the box is blocked. It's going to be a throw. I wonder whether Pochettino there just wanting to show some authority on his side there going forward. Look, it didn't work out for you that time, it will the next time. You'll get goals, Dele Alli, you will.
Yeah, I think he needs that as well sometimes, Ali, doesn't he? You forget his age and how well he's done over the last few years. You almost think, well, he knows what he's doing, but he still needs coaching, he still needs that bit of instruction from the manager, and Pochettino's one of the best to do that.
Oh, superb work from Eric Dyer there, just a couple of little flicks and volleys just to try and chip it over the player and bring the ball down. Aurier's chest down. Runner going forward in Ali, who's unmarked. Now he breaks into the box. Can Dembele find him? He can't. Eriksen trying to find him now. Listen, Ali's allowed to turn and spin away. Chance for a strike. Nice. No, great ball to Son. Into the box for Kane. What a great move from Tottenham Hotspur. Harry Kane with his second of the afternoon full credit to Dele Alli there. He found a wonderful run from Heung-min Son, his first time cross in, and Harry Kane was just outside the 6-yard box to tap into the back of the net. 2-0.
Well, Harry Kane broke the record for the most goals scored in a calendar year in the Premier League with his first strike this afternoon, and he's gone and extended that record now by slotting home a second. This one is all about the team, though. It's a wonderful team move. Eriksen initially into Ali, spins away from his man, rolls a cute little ball in behind the Southampton defence to Son, who had beaten the offside trap, and he simply then rolls it across that back line into the feet of Harry Kane, who's completely unmarked at the far post. Forster out of the picture. It's another tap in for Harry Kane. 2 goals today. Both of them have come in the 6-yard box, and both of them into an open net. It's Tottenham 2, Southampton 0.
Brilliant. That from Tottenham. Really simple when you break it down. I'm not too sure there's too much could happen from Southampton's defence there. They were just caught flat-footed. Yeah. Fraser Forster will be absolutely furious though with the side defending. You know, understandably so, but that was such a good move, such good movement that from Tottenham, especially Heung-min Son, who found himself in open space behind the right-hand side. Maybe a question over Stevens, where was he? Yeah. But Dele Alli's ball through to him in the first place made that goal. Yeah,
really well placed, wasn't it, into the path of Son. And I mean, you spoke about it in the build-up to that move. They looked as though they could have found Ali initially, but they're patient. They don't want to rush it. They wait for the right moment. They're happy to slow it down, and then they pick up the pace with 2 or 3 shot passes, and it's into the back of the net. And that's what you get from good teams. They don't always just look for that first ball that's on. They're happy just to bide their time a little bit, wait for a better opportunity to open up. And that's what happened. They get their second goal. And you struggle to see any way back in this one for Southampton now.
Absolutely. I mean, the two sides are just beautiful on the eye at the moment, to Tottenham and Manchester City, aren't they? Really good sides to watch and even commentate on, really. It's such good football. You've got to fear for the rest of the side, but I mean, Manchester City annihilated Tottenham though, didn't they?
4-1 was it?
Yeah. Little chest down there from Sanchez, gets the ball back to Lloris. So there's still some work to do with Tottenham. What's happened to Danny Rose? Has he gone over on his ankle? Ball's thrown out over the far side. And Danny Rose has had problems before, hasn't he, with injury? Seems to be okay. They've got a ready-made replacement. He went on there, did he slide? He went over. Oh, in actual fact, it's a boot from Redmond on an and you see that time and time again now, don't you? It's a bit naughty from Nathan Redmond.
Yeah, I think so. He puts the ball in, doesn't he, Redmond? And then as his foot comes down, it lands right on top of the ankle of Danny Rose, and it sort of twisted a little bit. Went over slightly awkwardly and limping away. He should be okay, Rose, but last thing they need is another player to pull out with injury in that back line, as we spoke about Alderweireld before.
Absolutely. Here come Eriksen, finds Kane. Kane moves the ball over to Son. Son breaks into the penalty. He couldn't get the ball in control. He's tackled there by Stevens. Ball goes out of play for a corner kick. Son thought he was brought down, but the ball was near. I'm not so sure about that.
I think he's complaining because it's a goal kick. Like you, I thought it was a corner, and Son arguably does too, but his frustrations, I think, come from the fact that it's been given as a goal kick. But what a ball that is from Harry Kane. You know, he had that in the locker. He's been spending a lot of time with Christian Eriksen by the looks of things, but he finds on his first touch is poor, isn't it? Second isn't good. Maybe a little bit of a nudge there. Trying to work out if it is a corner. I think it might be a goal kick. Son there seems to kick it left-footed, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. So good decision from Graham Scott there. And he's done well there. 3 minutes to go. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. This independent off-tube studio broadcast. And Southampton have a free kick here. And they've been second best in terms of chances in this game. They could have had something from this first half, but not quite there. But they've got a free kick here. They're going to load the box. All players outside the penalty area. Target will step up now. Left-footed delivery. Looking for a Southampton head, can't find it, so it's cleared away by Vertonghen. And Højbjerg will move the ball back across field. Knocked into the box again. Long's header by Romeo goes wide. And that's really the best that Southampton can offer from that. Ball into the box, but yes, it's still Tottenham 2, Southampton 0.
Well, it's been a good game so far as we approach the half-time break. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. Tottenham with a chance just a moment ago to go 3-0 ahead. Harry Kane has already got a brace, this time turned provider. Played a really lovely ball in behind the Southampton defence, bending round into the path Heung-min Son has had a good game unselfishly down that left-hand side today, the South Korean. His first touch though was poor, his second wasn't much better, and then under pressure from Stevens he was forced to put it behind for a goal kick. Southampton haven't really been able to mount any sort of a fight back in this game. There's no suggestion that they're going to come back from this 2-0 deficit. A free kick a moment ago headed wide by Romeu. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0.
Yes, indeed. And ball over the top looking for Redmond there, but wasn't quite there as we edge towards half-time. 90 seconds or so to go before we find out whether there'll be any additional time. As it stands, Tottenham have moved into the top 4. Goal distance shared with Chelsea and Liverpool, but Chelsea are 2 points ahead of Tottenham as it stands, and Liverpool are 2 points below. Here is a good work from Højbjerg, who moves the ball to target. Some runners in the middle, Southampton. Good ball into the box, looking for Long. It's in front of him. There was a tussle between Rose and Højbjerg, but nothing given from the referee. And it was just a yard or two in front of Shane Long, who made a good run into the box as well. But it's dangerous from Spurs' point of view.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was maybe a foul there from Højbjerg on Rose as well. Seemed to run into the back of the Tottenham defender. I don't know if the free kick was eventually given, but two players making runs in that sort of area of the field for Southampton, Long and Højbjerg, makes it tough then for Tottenham to know who to pick up, if they're going to peel away and part and make diagonal runs, or if they're both going to stay straight and true. So need more of that, Southampton. That's what we said right from the very off, that Long needs support, he needs other runners in and around him. Otherwise it's far too easily for Tottenham, who, as we've seen, have gone to a back three central defenders to deal with Shane Long. They've got him in the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. Allows the fullbacks to go forward. It was a high boot there from Dembele. It was. He may have got one in the chops. Just seen a stat there. Harry Kane's hit the most goals for club and country in European football. I think. Yeah. More than Messi and Robert Lewandowski.
So they're on the winter break as well, aren't they? So they won't be catching him.
No, he's performed well, but there's always that question of burnout, isn't there, in the summer of next year as regard English players. Free kick then for Southampton, 1 minute of additional time to be played. Into the box then, it bobbles around and eventually it makes its way through to Hugo Lloris, and they'll have to work it again, Southampton. Tottenham just searching for a third goal before the break. Here's Danny Rose. And they'll just take the time. Harry Kane has it now on the halfway line. Pushing forward. 10 seconds of additional time to go. Driving forward, drives through the middle. Ericsson, a little back heel, finds Kane outside the area, a little chip over the top, and that'll be a little back heel from Christian Eriksen, and Kane nearly had him there. What a lovely little move that was.
What a goal that would have been. Kane starting it off on the halfway line, and just a deft little flick from Eriksen.
Yeah, I think so. Harry Kane says that's Graham Spot blows the whistle for half time. Tottenham rampant. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0.
At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen finding Ali, rolled it through for Son. Kane again just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is Tottenham 2, Southampton 0, very much in control of this game. Spurs right from the very off, they created good chances. Kane went close as he hit the side netting, and Spurs had a goal ruled out for offside, rightly so. Before they took the lead on 22 minutes, it was a free kick whipped in by Eriksen. Kane unmarked, a couple of yards out from goal, headed into the back of an open net. He then went on to get his second of the afternoon shortly after. Eriksen, Fanning Ali rolled it through for Son. Kane again, just yards out, tapped into an open net. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0. At half-time, it is. Well, back for the second half of this early Boxing Day clash. Tottenham 2, Southampton 0 as we restart for this second period. We bring you independent off-tube studio commentary. And Tottenham very much in control in that opening 45 minutes. Of course, all that could change in the second half, with Southampton potentially looking to be a little bit more forward-thinking. A brace from Harry Kane, sealing him the record for most Premier League goals scored in a calendar year. His first one broke the record, his second has opened up a bit of breathing space for him with the record, and could well be on course for back-to-back hat-tricks, of course, having scored 3 last time out against Burnley in that 3-0 triumph at Turf Moor. But it looks as though it's going to be business as usual for Spurs today.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, they're going to move into 4th place, ominously. Although here comes Southampton breaking forward.
Oh, it's Long who's on the edge of the box now, gets the shot away, slipped as he struck it. It's an easy save for Lloris. Under enough pressure there, I think, Long, just to put him off a little bit. Was cheaply given away a sliced ball. Is that Eric Dyer, maybe, who puts it in behind his own defence, and Long was onto it quickly.
Great defending from Sanchez. He tried to draw Long across, and he did, and Long on the strike actually slipped when he went to strike that, but Sanchez did well to try and draw him away.
Danny Rose at the other end now, putting a cross in for Tottenham from the left. It's cleared away by Southampton, sent back towards the box by Eric Dyer. who appears to be back in the midfield. He started in the midfield today, then they went to a back three. Tottenham with Dyer dropping in there in between Vertonghen and Sanchez, but it looks as though he's back in the centre of the field now, and Southampton have got a bit of space to work into here down the left-hand side. If Dyer has given it away, he's been very much involved in the early stages of this second half. Vertonghen will sweep up at the back here, but his clearance only goes as far as Højbjerg, and he rolls it back then in towards Buffal. Switch play onto the run of Stevens, brings it down, but he's closely marked by Son. Has to come infield and find Redmond. Now to Buffal. Nice footwork. Sorry, it's Lamina rather, who hits the crossbar with a left-footed effort. Nice little shimmy there, bought him half a yard as he worked it out onto the left-hand side of his body, and then he strikes it with real ferocity. Lloris looked beaten as it crashed back off the bar.
Yeah, Tottenham defence just stood off there, didn't they? Allowed Lamina to get into his left boot, strike it. A little bit aerial. He was against, he didn't really get too much control of the shot, but had enough there to smack against the crossbar and was cleared away. I just saw moments before about Eric Dyer running down the right side. He doesn't look completely fit to me. He was took off on Saturday. There was a doubt over him. I think he had a bit of a calf injury. Not exactly running with freedom. He's not he's not a bulldozing runner, is he? He's more of a bludgeoner as he goes forward, but I can't see him lasting the game, to be perfectly honest, Bobby.
He's got some sort of a hand injury as well, hasn't he? Some bandaging on that. This cross comes in now from Redmond, headed away by Spurs towards the halfway line, where Kane will pick it up and lay it off for Eriksen, whose first time ball seeks Dele Alli. He's up there one-on-one with Yoshida. He gets the flick on into Son. The South Korean can't quite bring it down, and Ali will take it off his toes. The bouncing ball was a little bit awkward. Now looking to work a 1-2 maybe with Son. Does get it back a little bit belatedly. Left point of the box, trying to create an angle for a shot. It's low and it's killed into the far corner. Wonderfully taken effort by Dele Alli. I think you'd say Fraser Forster possibly slightly unsighted by his defenders running across his path, but take nothing away from the finish there. Ali creates this goal all of his own accord.
Wonderful interchange of passing between him and Heung-min Son, and Dele Alli then creating some space for himself, a couple of steps, and fires it across Fraser Forster, who probably couldn't see a great deal. We're just going to get the angle now. Well, not really, could he? And it arrows its way into the corner, and that's game, set and match in Tottenham's favour there.
Points look to be in the bag now for Tottenham as they've taken a 3-0 lead. Comes off the back of actually what's been quite a bright start to the second half for Southampton. They'd hit the crossbar a moment ago through Mario Lamina, but Spurs break away. It was a long ball forward from Eriksen, flicked on by Ali into Son. Son eventually gave it back to Ali on the left point of the penalty area. Took his time, tried to eye up the goal and pick out his spot, which he did exquisitely in the end. A curling low effort along the ground. Fraser Forster slightly unsighted by the defenders, making runs across his eyesight, and Ali bends it into the far corner. Tottenham 3, Southampton 0.
Yeah, well, just that one little foray forward and a simple sort of shot into the corner, doesn't it? Makes it all look so simple for as Tottenham's concerned, and they're 3 goals up now. And just after really Southampton started brightly, arguably the better side at the start of the second half. They've hit the bar. Shane Long was pushed forward as a one-on-one, and they were caught up the counter-attack, but good movement from Heung-min Son, and Dele Alli created that goal.
Great legs, wasn't it, from Son to run and get up alongside Ali. Unselfish again, as he always is. Happy to play the provider for Dele Alli, who applied that finishing touch. And here comes Spurs again. It's Ali who carries. Son makes the run to his right hand side. Kane has gone left, and Son is in space on that right. He's found and he slams it home, gets its rewards for all the running, and it's Tottenham flying in this clash now. They lead by 4-0 against a frustrated Southampton.
Sensational stuff, wasn't it? Just a quick counter-attack, 2 minutes after scoring there. Southampton were on the attack, and then quickly up the other end, they give the ball away. Dele Alli, Heung-min Son, interchange of passing again between those two. Great work. Heung-min Son just left alone between 2 defenders and fires a shot across Fraser Forster, 4-0.
Swift stuff from Tottenham. They've got a 4th in quick succession of that second goal. 51 minutes gone in this game now, and it's Son who slid home. He was the provider for Ali last time. This time it's a reversal of the roles, a counter-attack that starts inside Tottenham's own half, Ali carries it on over the halfway line. Son actually started deeper than Ali. He sprinted past the England international into a bit of space on the right-hand side of the box. No one went with him from Southampton. He beats the offside trap and drills it across the face of goal into the back of the net. His 9th Premier League goal of the season. Tottenham 4, Southampton 0.
So they just need Eriksen to score now, don't they, to make up the 4 with the goals. And they're looking almostly good, Tottenham Hotspur right now, especially in this game. You know, as they try and improve their goal difference. This could be anything. You know, Southampton look a little bit disjointed that, and it was easy work from a counter-attack point of view from Tottenham. And Southampton have just got to try and minimise the effect here, perhaps bolster their midfield or bolster defensively, just stop the rot here, because it's going to be a few, isn't it?
Yeah, they are coming forward. Into the box they go with Boufal. Trickery only gets him so far. His cross then is poor. It's cleared away by Tottenham out to the left hand side as far as target. Has to go all the way back into defence to try and find a player in a bit of space. That player turns out to be Wesley Hoyt. Mr. Dembele's gone down in the centre circle. Looks as though Tottenham were already preparing a change anyway. There is a ready-made replacement on the touchline, which I imagine was to come on for Moussa Dembele, who'd maybe already had a word across the bench to say he was struggling a little bit. That's a loss for them over the course of this busy run of fixtures they're going to have.
Yeah, I don't like to see that. He's sat on his haunches and he seems to be accepting of his fate there, really, that something's gone in his knee. It will be Moussa Sissoko to come on to replace him. I thought maybe Harry Winks might have been advantageous, because Sissoko, well, the fact of the matter is Sissoko would only come into the side if he knew that Tottenham were already going to get the 3 points. He's been a huge disappointment with that move to White Hart Lane. It was a huge disappointment when he was at Newcastle, so I can't quite see what they decided to bring him in. But anyway, it's Dembele going off, which is a real shame, and a different spell to Moussa comes on.
Yeah, he was a starter against Burnley, was Moussa Sissoko, one of the 2 players dropped by Mauricio Pochettino today. Moussa Dembele coming in for him in that central midfield area, but needs must, and injury means that Dembele goes off and Sissoko comes on in his place, and that's the only disappointment really for Tottenham so far this afternoon, having scored 4 goals and looked so free and flowing with their football. Just the frustration now of an injury that could potentially just cause issue over the coming days and weeks as we head into the new year, and as the matches continue to come thick and fast. Maybe a change on the horizon as well for Pellegrino.
I would think so, yeah. Just going back to my previous point about Sissoko coming on in place of Dembele, I would think that Winks will come on in place of Dyer later on in the game. That's probably why they've brought Sissoko on.
Just hold him back for the time being. We're only 54 minutes into this game. I think Pochettino would have made a change if he didn't have to. Shot here from Romeo is low and saved by Lloris. Nicely struck, but it was back Lloris to get down to it.
Absolutely, yeah, it was along the ground, but good work from Romeo again, just cutting onto his left boot, created a bit of space, and it was good effort, but yeah, good save from Lloris, and he knew exactly where the ball was going to end up, but plenty of power that from Romeo, and it shows that Southampton are still thinking about trying to score here, but the game's lost as far as they're concerned, really.
Very much so. It appears to be damage limitation and looks as though they're set for 7 Premier League games without a win. Southampton fans weren't happy with Claude Puel last season. You can imagine that they're starting to grow a little bit frustrated with Pellegrino as well this season. Just haven't really been able to find a manager that they've liked since Koeman or Pochettino. Danny Rose is down now. That's a concern as well. I've got Ben Davies available to them on the bench. He was the other change made by Pochettino from that victory over Burnley. What a coincidence it would be if it's the 2 players that were called in today that were both to go on and pick up injuries.
Yeah, that would be a shame, wouldn't it, really? Tottenham are just toying with Southampton now, aren't they? They're just keeping all the possession right now. But Rose has been in the wars today, hasn't he? Seems to be alright there.
Almost scored an own goal earlier as well, didn't he? It's not been a memorable afternoon for him, but it has been for Spurs as a whole. Thought that he could be on his way in January as well, Danny Rose, after those comments he made in the summer or at the start of the season, feeling that he wanted to move up north, potentially to Manchester City, but we'll have to wait and see if anything does come about with that. Pep Guardiola has said that he is going to be looking for a defender in the January window, but I think it's more focused on a central defender than a full-back, as Kane might be in here. Oh, flashes wide of the post for the hat-trick. Wonderfully executed volley that. He didn't do much wrong with it, in truth. Really well-placed ball in behind by Danny Rose, who we were just speaking about, and Kane not far away.
I just thought, as soon as that ball dropped then over the head of Yoshida, I thought Kane, don't know how he missed really, to be honest. It was excellent volley. I thought it was just going to nestle into the back of the net, but as soon as the ball dropped over Yoshida, then I thought Harry Kane couldn't miss, but he did. And what a wonderful ball that from Danny Rose.
Inch perfect from Rose, wasn't it? Not quite inch perfect from Kane. It almost brushed past the post. Forster hasn't really made many saves today, has he? He made a couple early on in the match, that long-range Eric Dyer shot, and he parried another out at one point, but most efforts that have come his way, he's not been able to get anything on. I think we're going to maybe get the second yellow card of the match here. And that's Sissoko, is it, who's only just come onto the field of play. He's certainly been having a word there with Shane Long.
Long on Sanchez.
Oh, is it Long who's got the decision, who's got the card rather? Yeah, Sissoko was just having a word in his ear, Shane Long, but it's the Southampton man who goes into the book. So 2 yellow cards shown, both of them to Southampton players, and 4 bookings now for Shane Long, with Charlie Austin suspended for 3 games. If Long was to pick up a yellow card in the next match, then it would fall to Gabbiadini, and he'd get his opportunity then over this busy period, but we'll have to wait and see just how it works out.
I'm wondering whether Long's got more bookings than goals than this season, so because he's
could well have
he's
done.
Not scored, has he?
I can't remember many that he's fired home over the course of this campaign. That finds us at midway point at the moment as well. Certainly not been a fruitful campaign for him in front of the target. A lot of battle here, a nice battle between the 2 sets of players. We'll just see what happens with this move as Tottenham come down the right with Ali. Cuts back in towards Sissoko, back to Aurier then. His cross is poor. That's going to go away and out into touch.
Yeah, he's not scored at all this season. He's got 1 yellow card in the World Cup there, but it's 4 yellow cards in the Premier League and no goals so far this season.
Kind of record that you want for a player that has been consistent during his time in the Premier League. He's had a fair few clubs and has scored goals. He tends to be reliable up at the top, but
his last goal was in February at Sunderland.
Almost a year then since he last found the back of the net. They don't have a Sunderland in the Premier League this season that are just struggling so much to come up with anything against opposition. Struggling in the Championship as well, in truth, although they've been a little bit better since Chris Coleman's appointment. Only lost 1 since 6, I think it is, since he took charge, the Welshman. Southampton trying to come out of their own half now, just approaching the hour mark. Give those travelling fans something to cheer about today. I don't think they would have come to Wembley with much expectation. That's the way that the game has developed, as Lloris is under pressure and manages to roll it out of his feet pretty swiftly there to Davinson Sanchez. Turn finds Aurier and back to Sanchez again. They'll go across that defensive back line to Jan Vertonghen as they just slow things down inside their own defensive third. Tottenham don't have to rush anything at all now in this game. With such a comfortable advantage. It's Tottenham 4, Southampton 0. Spurs could quite easily have gone further ahead in this game. Wonderful chance for Harry Kane just a few moments ago, and what a way it would have been to wrap up his hat-trick. It was Danny Rose who clipped the ball into the box from the left-hand side, quite deep, inch-perfect ball though. It was over the head of Maya Yoshida. Kane had just peeled off the back of the Japanese international, volleyed it very fiercely with his right foot, but it flashed wide of the far post. Tottenham very much just controlling this game now, slowing it down as and when they need to. We've seen an enforced change for them though. Moussa Dembele had to go off with an injury, so Moussa Sissoko has come on in his place. Tottenham 4, Southampton 0.
Yeah, that'll be the sort of blot on the landscape, isn't it, really, that Dembele's gone off. Since they got the 4th, it's Tottenham trying to work out how to break down Southampton again, but Buffal just trying to push his way forward. It makes its way all the way back to Lloris, and Tottenham will work it again defensively. Good work from Rose and Dyer, and now for Eriksson and Sissoko. just toying again, as I mentioned before, with Southampton. Really good movement from them. And Harry Kane now creates a bit of space.
He crosses towards the far post, and it had to be turned away there by Target. Son was making good ground behind him. Target, I'm not sure if he knew how close Son was, so didn't want to take the risk of maybe taking a touch and being caught in possession, facing his own goal. It's a nice teasing ball though from Kane.
It was, yeah, interesting one to defend. He didn't get a shout, Target, and had to clear it, didn't he? And at the expense of a corner. No major rush for Danny Rose to step over and take the corner kick, but so much time left in the game. You can see Spurs getting 5, possibly 6.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out. What a day, what a way it would be to start this Boxing Day bumper fixture schedule we have. Corner comes in, Dyer stoops with the header. It's just going to be a goal kick. He felt that it came off the Southampton defender last. Certainly did come off the defender, but the referee has adjudged that it bounced off Romeo back onto Dyer and behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, I think it did come off Dyer, didn't it? To see Romeo get a foot into Dyer there before. And I don't know.
I have no sympathy for Dyer there, you know. He's put both legs on top of the ball on the floor. And it doesn't leave the opposing player much other option. Tadic. And we're going to see Gabbiadini come on as well. So Redmond has gone off and Tadic on. And Lamina has gone off and Gabbiadini has come on. So double change for Southampton.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something. They're just throwing bodies forward now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really? Whether Gabbiadini can be bothered about this at this point. 4-0 down, 27 minutes to go.
You do what it was a year ago that he joined, wasn't it, in the January? He took to the Premier League with great effect. Southampton here. Oh, they've got one. They've pulled one back through Boufal, who drills it home at the near post. Hugo Lloris will be fuming as he'll add that one through. He grimaces and looks up to the sky, and I think he knows very much that he's at fault for that one. You'd maybe say Tottenham could have cleared initially, but it comes out to Boufal. He's got so much work to do from there, but sneaks it in at the near post.
Yeah, well, it was a long-range shot, wasn't it, from Boufal? Cut inside, looked for his strike, left-footed into the corner, and perhaps Lloris should have done and could have done better there.
Well, Southampton fans have something to cheer. It may be the only thing they have to cheer this afternoon. It's a goal back through Sofiane Boufal. Doesn't score regularly, this one from long range, but Hugo Lloris really should be doing better with it. There was mistakes made in the Tottenham defence. It was given away cheaply. Davinson Sanchez was out of position as the ball was played past him. He stretched to try and get there, couldn't get enough on it, and it found a way through to Boufal, who drilled home just inside the penalty box on the left-hand side, low towards the near post. Lloris gets hands to it, but knocks it inside and over the line, and that's the second goal of the season for Boufal. It's Tottenham 4, Southampton 1.
Probably going to make Tottenham angry, that, in any sense, isn't it, really? But yeah, they'll be annoyed by that, Tottenham. Southampton didn't have to do much to earn that goal, and they've grabbed it, and Boufal gets his second goal of the season, second Premier League goal of the season, that is. I think it's just his 2, but Tottenham will try and work it again, though.
Yeah, left-hand side they go with Danny Rose. He has Ali in support, and he uses Ali, former MK Dons man. A little bit of trickery before rolling it to Eriksson, who under pressure goes back to the halfway line with Vertonghen, and again the Belgian feeling there was a bit of pressure on him goes further back to Lloris, who had to clear that. Gabbiadini threw himself at that ball. Don't think he actually caught Lloris. Lloris cleared and went into Gabbiadini rather than the other way around. So the goalkeeper's momentum that took him through. Referee Graham Scott was maybe just considering if he was to act on that situation. Yeah, he does nothing wrong there, Gabbiadini does. He slides, stands to his feet, and Lloris jumps into him.
Yeah, referee Graham Scott there just thinking that it was a foul. He's not yellow carded him, has he?
He did pull something out of his pocket. I don't know if he actually showed it in the end. That last replay we saw, he was grabbing towards his pocket, so we'll have to wait and see if anything has been shown. We'll wait for official confirmation of it. We're certainly not seeing the yellow card waved in Gabbiadini's direction. It's Tottenham see a move break down here on the edge of the Southampton box, and Saints can break out left-hand side. There's a good run made down that flank as well by Højbjerg, but good defending as well by Aurier. Just muscles him out the way. He's not the tallest of players, Aurier, but he's a well-built unit and uses it to great effect there. Højbjerg felt he was fouled, but I didn't see much in it.
Yeah, nothing given there really, was there? It was just a combination of two players going together there, and Højbjerg just coming off second best in that opportunity. But one ball there from Heung-min Son. There's plenty of space for Tottenham opening up now.
Yes, through to Kane. Can he get this hat-trick and wrap off a wonderful afternoon? He does. A little left-footed chip into the back of the net. The defender left in a pile on the floor behind him. Not strong enough to get round and stop Harry Kane. He makes it back-to-back hat-tricks and is very much ending 2017 with a flourish.
What a goal. Lovely ball through from Heung-min Son. Seeing Kane racing. He's got a defender with him, but can still beat him and still chip the ball over Fraser Forster into the back of the net. Back-to-back hat-tricks. Wonderful stuff.
Tottenham have 5. They now lead by 5 goals to 1. Heung-min Son rolling the ball through. In fact, Dele Alli, it is, who rolls the ball through towards Harry Kane, who's too strong for the defender and is able to chip it over the goalkeeper, Fraser Forster, to get his hat-trick for the afternoon. Heung-min Son actually went to polish Harry Kane's boots afterwards. It's back-to-back hat-tricks. He's very much now going out into a league of his own with the record of most goals scored in the Premier League in a calendar year. He's 3 clear of the previous record of Alan Shearer, and an 11th career hat-trick for him. It's 5-1 to Tottenham.
8 this year, Bobby. 8 hat-tricks this year he scored for Tottenham. He's a remarkable footballer, and it just amazes me how much hard work makes you into this. He had several loan spells out, didn't he, with Tottenham. They knew they were building for the future with him, and he gets his chances in the Europa League initially. And
the Harry Redknapp, wasn't it? I think.
And although Tim Sherwood takes credit for half the time for it, I think. But great work from him, and fabulous footballer, and it's just developed into this unique striker that England have got. And I swear, and I've said this to Tom the other day, I said he's the best English striker since Alan Shearer.
Yeah,
he is. I know that Jermaine Defoe could come into that category as well, but they're 2 different types of strikers. Kane's not quick like Shearer wasn't quick in the latter stages of his career, but still has enough body strength to hold off players, defenders.
Doesn't need that pace, does he, when you've got, as you say, that the strength and the stature that Kane does. We saw there he was beyond Mai Yoshida and left the Japanese international on the floor due to that strength. Luis has to tip one wide now. That was an awkward effort from Stevens, who just opened his body up as if he was going to curl it towards the far post, but he could have crossed the ball, and it was one that Luis had to get down to and turn behind for the corner. We'll just see this corner play out, and I'll hand over to Paul to take us through to full time. Tottenham 5, Southampton 1, and maybe an opportunity for Southampton to pull another back. That'll be the frustration for Pochettino today, the fact that they have conceded. On the whole, it's been a pretty good performance. The corner leads to nothing. It's headed over, I think, by Gabbiadini, and Tottenham will restart from a goal kick. So at this point then, with Tottenham very much in control and on course to move into the top 4 with 3 points to their name, it's going to be Paul to take to full time.
Cheers, Bobby. I just think whether they're looking at a shove by Kane on Yoshida, but he should have been stronger, if anything, from that. Whether Southampton going to make another substitution, I'm not too sure, but they've made 2. Tottenham only the 1. Harry Kane, Tottenham all-time top Premier League scorers now. Harry Kane sits on 96 goals, 1 behind Teddy Sheringham, who's on 97. So another target for Harry Kane as the through ball here finds Kane, the body in the box, which is Christian Eriksen. He tries to cross it in, looking a bit leggy now. Harry Kane, his cross is blocked by Yoshida. Kane still has it though. Moves the ball back there for Dele Alli. Edge of the penalty area. The defence stands still. Here's Kane trying to chip the ball forward. Can't quite find the ball through to Heung-min Son. Sissoko couldn't get there, and Boufal will move that ball away. And now down the right hand side with Stevens. He clears. Dyer tries to flick the ball forward but can't. Højbjerg will find Romeo, and there's plenty of space for Target to move down the left hand touchline, the Tottenham right. And now it's back with Hoyt. Knocks the ball over the top for Target, trying to cut inside. Aurier's there. And Aurier will allow the ball to go out of play. And it will be a goal kick for Spurs. Tottenham Hotspur 5, Southampton 1. Harry Kane with another hat-trick, back-to-back hat-tricks, and goals from Dele Alli and Heung-min Son are added to a goal by Sofiane Boufal. James Ward-Prowse, I think, will be coming on in a few moments' time for Southampton. Joe Pellegrino saying, just hang on a second. But Ward-Prowse just getting some instruction there from the assistant manager. Clearance from Lloris, then finds Southampton with the ball. Hoyt finds Yoshida. Yoshida goes square, and they've dropped 2-3 at the back, I think, Southampton now, with Yoshida, Hoyt and Stevens. And Stevens is naturally centre half, isn't he? As the ball played over the top, looking for Gabby Dean. He's broken the offside trap. Long's in the middle, turn for a tap in. Oh, great defensive work from Jan Vertonghen to nick the ball off Shane Long and clear.
Incredible piece of defending, isn't it? I mean, to get back there and keep pace with Long is one thing, but then also to go towards your own goal, which is an open net at that point, and to tip it over the bar and wide rather than put it into the back of your own net is incredible stuff from Vertonghen. He gets right under that ball with the left foot and puts it behind for the corner kick.
Southampton come again. Here's Tadic, who loses out to Sissoko. Now Tottenham are on the counter-attack. This is very dangerous. Heung-min Son goes through the middle. Harry Kane wants through the middle as well. There's two other Tottenham players. Little touch from Sissoko, finds Kane. Oh, good defending there from Matt Targett to win possession from Kane. And a chance now for Southampton to counter-attack. Gabbiadini goes along the line, but Tottenham win it back through Christian Eriksen, who moves forward. He wins the ball from Boufal. He knocks the ball back to Dyer. So both sides trying to counter-attack there. But great work. Almost found Shane Long from one end as Spurs went the other way. And Harry Kane just lost possession. But here come Tottenham again. Dele Alli, edge of the penalty area. Gets to the byline, moves back, doesn't take the ball with him, and Targett will go, and he's tripped by Dele Alli there, and that will be a free kick Southampton's way.
Yeah, it's a frustrated little clip of the heels, isn't it, from Ali in the end, as the trick didn't work out for him. He felt he wasn't going to allow his man to get away, and
no, he's not coming on, James Ward-Prowse.
Well, he's going for a warm-up, isn't he? He's put the bib on, gone out for a little jog.
Oh dear, has Pellegrini on borrowed time, perhaps, maybe? Eric Lamela will be coming on for Spurs in a second. But questions about Pellegrino, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially at this time of year when we've seen so many managers sacked and there's so many managers out there that are potentially still looking for jobs. Maybe a reunion with a Ronald Koeman.
Yeah.
You've got someone like Gary Monk, even potentially, who was out of a job just a couple of days ago in the Championship, and Carlos Carvajal, who obviously Monk has been in the Premier League before. Carvajal has been linked with moves to the Premier League previously. Southampton want to go for one of those. Maybe, okay, they didn't quite manage to do the jobs expected of them this season in the second tier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't do it in the Premier League.
On ball over the top, looking for Long. That'll be shepherded by Rose through to Hugo Lloris, who just rolls the ball out to Danny Rose again. And he goes inside for Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer finds Ali. Heung-min Son's on the overlap down the right-hand side, a couple of yards in from the touchline. Lovely cross in, looking for Sissoko, but it's too close to goalkeeper Fraser Forster. And Tottenham will have to work it again. 15 to go, it's 5-1. Spurs and Southampton both searching for further goals. Game's so open now, we could see a few. And Tottenham trying to win it back, so to Southampton. Here's Højbjerg. And credit to Southampton, you know, they're searching for another goal. It's Gabbiadini trying to get through to Long. Cleared away by Tottenham again. And Harry Kane, who's back there defending, but loses out. Christian Eriksen goes down. Referee says play on, and Graham Scott's injured. The referee, ball through. Shane Long, opportunity for him to score for the first time since February. Can't. Good block there by Jan Vertonghen. Rose is there as well. And well, was it a collision, Graham Scott? It must have been a collision that it was in.
I would imagine so. I didn't see it off the ball, obviously, but he's limping away. Seems to be moving a little bit more free than now. But he's had a few glances across the touchline. I don't know whether that's for the substitution. I think it might be. I don't know whether he was maybe considering substituting himself.
Is that Eric Dyer going off for Lamela? I think maybe. Somebody standing in his boot.
It's Son, I think. Number 7, I think we saw, yeah. But yeah, he seems to be holding the ankle, doesn't he? The shin or the ankle. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the referee. 15 minutes to go. Can he make it?
Can he get through? I think Jonathan, might be Jonathan Moss, I think the fourth official, or is that the next game? I don't know, I can't remember. So there's a fourth official who will just take over. All eyes on Graham Scott, he seems to be alright. So, Ming-Sun, so vital to this Tottenham lineup, isn't he? And got his goal today as well, so
yeah,
good work from him. Really, really good stuff. Ball played forward again, Sissoko's there.
Yeah, I was just reading a stat about Son involved in 8 goals in his last 6 Premier League starts at Wembley, 5 goals, 3 assists. So, yeah, key player, isn't he? And one that Pochettino values very highly. Craig Pawson, incidentally, it is the fourth official today.
I think he'd be the one who comes on. I think it works differently. In the Football League, I think that one of the linesmen has to do the job rather than chip the ball forward. Oh, almost kept it in. He just snuck the ball over the top of Stevens there and holds his hand up and apologises for the forward run there, but almost smart thinking from Danny Rose, who's had a good game today.
He has. He's performed well, hasn't he? Aside from the almost own goal, but you can excuse him of that for all the good work that he has done. Going forward, he's great, isn't he, Danny Rose? We know that. He's an attack man. He probably could play as a winger if they wanted him to. And he's not had to do too much defensively, really. I think he'd be a huge loss for Tottenham if they do let him go. Maybe he has made 1 or 2 comments they don't like, but for me they should do everything possible to keep him in their side.
Absolutely. Shane Logg makes his way into the middle. Boufal has it, right foot across, looking good header away by Vertonghen. Into touch, it will be a corner kick for Southampton there, but Vertonghen's been excellent defensively today for Tottenham.
Yeah, he's had to, hasn't he? I think a couple of times Sanchez, for me, has maybe been out of position and Vertonghen's had to dig him out of a bit of a hole, but he's a reliable figure.
So corner kick then for the Saints as it goes into the box. Header by Sissoko goes skywards inside the penalty area. Shane Long's header only finds a Tottenham shirt. Chance for Tottenham to break him. We know how dangerous they are. Lamela finds Kane and Kane pushes forward. That's not Kane, that's Vertonghen. Here is Dele Alli outside the area. Cuts onto his right boot, loses possession though, and everybody has the right to be furious there because they had loads of bodies forward. Eric Dyer trying to go forward, and now it's back with Boufal.
They had 4-on-2 when the move first started, and you could see exactly what Lemay wanted. He thought, I want a goal here. I'm not going to be the ball carrier. He gave it Vertonghen. He gave it Ali. Just break off because Southampton are in the box.
Valens' strike goes across goal, and it's out of play for a goal kick.
But it was just so selfish from Ali there. I mean, as soon as Lemay makes that run, straight down the middle, he points to Ali. When they get to the edge of the box, he says, cut it now, I'm making the run, I'm going to be onside. Ali just completely ignores it. All he has to do is a simple ball in behind there. Lemay is onto it, and the amount of time he's been out of football, obviously he's desperate for goals. He wants to get that feeling back, and Ali scored today. He needs to be playing the team game there. That's what it's about. You might be 5-1 up, but you still need to get other players involved and give them a chance, and for me, Ali's let his teammates down.
Yeah, he certainly has that. Very disappointed from Dele Alli. Could have had a yellow card.
Yeah.
And again, question marks about his discipline in this game. So play to the right hand side now. Here's Aurier, who's over the halfway line in the middle of Sissoko. Back to Aurier again, who gave him the ball back. He didn't want it. Lamela has it. Sissoko's such a poor footballer. Really is. He does well there to go backwards, but you know, I wonder what goes through his head at times, really, Sissoko.
Yeah, decision making is something that seems to let him down quite often, isn't it? And I mean, even there, when you said a good play from him, he managed to skip away from a challenge, didn't he? But he almost put himself into that situation initially by not reacting quick enough. You see most footballers that have got a good football in mind that are already thinking of the next step. He waits for the ball to come before he thinks of it.
Aurier gives the ball away, and a chance now for a strike from Boufal. It blocks and it goes away from Sanchez. Boufal again, right for the strike, blocked away again by Dyer this time. And back with Romeo, who finds a runner. Edge of the penalty area, cross comes in over the top of Gabbiadini, headed away by Vertonghen. Boufal has it now outside the area. He goes square, right for the strike. Great save from Lloris. Wonderful save from him. And I couldn't quite see who had the right for the strike. It might have been Højbjerg. It is. He cut across the ball. That was heading for the back of the net, and it was palmed away by Lloris, who was actually closer to him than I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was right in the top corner from the angle we saw it, but it comes to Lloris, doesn't it? Had he put it in that top corner, he might have struggled to get there, the keeper.
So corner kick for the Saints again. Right footed corner kick comes into the box, palmed away by Lloris. There's a body back in there.
Oh!
Tip over, it's in. It's a second goal for Southampton, and it is Tadic with the goal. It looped over the top of Lloris, who got a hand to it, but he didn't get enough, and it went into the back of the net. So a second goal for Southampton.
The answer. You can avoid becoming confused by ignoring the advertising gimmicks and focusing on what's right for your health. First, look for the US
corner that has led to the goal. Lloris comes out to punch it away, doesn't get enough on it. It falls to substitute Dusan Tadic on the edge of the box. He sees that Lloris is off his line, goes for the left-footed cushioned looping effort over the keeper. Lloris back to his feet, tried to get something on it. He did get a hand to it, but could only turn it into the back of his own net. Tottenham 5, Southampton 2.
Yeah, remarkable really, isn't it? How it's been. It's Southampton's enigmas. We've got the goal for them, and they'll press forward again. We've got to really go for it. But nothing to gain from this game. Sissoko clears, but only gives the ball away straight to Romeo. Ericsson has a chance to clear now. Now Tottenham can finish it off. Here's
that becomes the watch on.
Lamella.
Remember, if you're new to the channel,
Ali there, just a crossfield at the back post is Harry Kane. So Ali will have to keep hold of it. Moves it inside. Look for Lamella. He shoots over the bar, and that was a good opportunity for the Argentinian there to make it 6-2 and kill the game completely. But again, the counter-attack, Southampton just showing Tottenham all the way.
Yeah, they're committing too many forward now, aren't they, Southampton? They just know that this game's done, and happy for it to be somewhat of an open game, which I think works in Tottenham's favour more than Southampton's. Lamella not far away there with that final chance. Nice little cut back from Dele Alli, this time happy enough to give him the ball. Lamella running onto it, gets under the ball, and it's over the bar.
Dele Alli be going off now. That's his last bit of involvement there.
He was good.
Gone for a midfield substitute, bringing on Harry Winks and Sam McQueen has come on.
A nicely weighted time pass, and obviously Jefferson scored. He was.
Yeah, McQueen, another of the youngsters that's come through that Southampton academy. I think he's been called back over by his manager just for a further instruction from Pellegrino as Ali finally makes his way off the pitch.
So I wonder whether Matt Targett picks up a little bit of a knock there, perhaps.
Possibly, yeah.
So
he's gone straight to the bench though. He's not gone down the tunnel.
We see that clearance over the halfway line. Shove over on Sanchez there. It will be a free kick Tottenham's way. 6 minutes to go of normal time. Tottenham 5, Southampton 2. And Tottenham have been excellent in this game, and they will be frustrated that they've conceded 2, of course. But you know, they've only conceded them on the premise that they want to get 6s and 7s.
Yeah, it's by the by, isn't it? I mean, as a manager, I think you maybe feel okay. It would have been nice to come away with a clean sheet, but when you've scored 5. You do tend to concede at 1, maybe 2, as they've done today, because you come a little bit complacent at the back. Everyone wants to get in on the goal scoring act, and you overcommit going forward.
Here's Harry Kane trying to feed it through to Danny Rose. It just fell short, and Kane goes to try and chase. I think the forward players of Tottenham are exhausted.
Yeah.
Here comes Southampton. Tadic has it now. He's got long down the right hand side. Tadic cuts onto his right boot, now onto his left. He's got a runner at the back post. Good header away by Sissoko. That's better from him. He followed his runner, followed the ball, and did help out defensively there. And Tadic has got some questions to ask, because he stopped the momentum there, really. Shane Long was on the overlap down the right, and it will be another corner kick to Southampton. So more pressure on the Spurs defence, and they conceded from a corner before. Let's see what they've got again. Buffal, right-footed delivery, comes into the box. Lloris is there to gather. Commanding goalkeeping from the French international. And he rolls along the ground. Skipper for Spurs rolls the ball out now. Spurs searching for that 6th goal.
There's just so much space in the midfield, isn't there, for both sides. As soon as it gets out of that defence, you see a midfielder turn, and he's not approached by anyone. They can take 10, 15 yards carrying the ball before they even have to really think about what they're going to do with it. And I mean, it's great watch for us, isn't it? And it's great for the fans that are in the stadium. The Southampton fans, okay, come away on the losing end this afternoon, but they've got 2 goals. It's been an exciting match. I think they'll feel it's been a decent day out, even though they've come away on the wrong end of it, and probably didn't approach the game thinking they were going to upset Tottenham too much.
No, not in the form that they're in, really. All evidence suggests, doesn't it, that they were going to get not get the 3 points, and that's been carried out. It's Buffal. Romeo finds Højbjerg, who's dropped deeper into midfield. Going to stem the flow. Good work there, though, by Lamela. Finds Eriksson bursting forward. He's got Winks with him alongside him now, who wants to join the party as well. And Eriksson loses possession. Sissoko goes in for a challenge, wins the ball. Now Rose has it, and again a second opportunity. Romeo just went for a bit of an air kick, nearly kicking Danny Rose towards Wembley Tube Station. And it's back now, and it's come off Aurier, off his shirt, and he's claiming that he didn't handball it.
I think he said it's a bit dirty, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need to change. Can't see anything on the shirt that would suggest that that's where the ball has come off. Comes off the top of the arm, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
He's pointing at his stomach for where it's come off. So I mean, he's massively misjudged it.
Yeah.
But I probably don't think it was a handball.
Free kick for Southampton. Then into the box, header goes in there by Yoshida, who's up there trying to get a goal. And he's a clash ahead, so he's caught something there, hasn't he, Yoshida? Whether it's drawn blood, I'm not too sure. But let's have a look. It's up against Sanchez. Oh yeah, his side of his head there really got into the side of Sanchez's head. He's going to be alright, but maybe seen a few birds.
We're into the closing stages of this Premier League clash now. Tottenham 5, Southampton 2. It's never really been in doubt, the victory for Tottenham since the opening stage of this game. They've been the better of the two sides. So it's very open in the closing stages. Both sides more than happy now just to pretty much bypass the midfield and try and get it forward and score more goals, which has made for an exciting watch. Probably both managers tearing their hair out at the lack of challenge coming in that middle third. Eric Lamela is on for Tottenham, and he's had one chance, a nice little cutback from Dele Alli. Lamela, though, got under the ball and it was blazed over the bar. He could have had a chance earlier, but Ali decided not to give it in when he was in behind, and Ali lost possession.
I'll find a way, and
indeed.
Dybala for 60 million. Yes, January transfer window. Let's get this Christmas thing out the way, and then the January transfer window is going to kick in. Don't worry about that. We've got transfer daily coming back, which is going to be good.
Tadic to hold on to
drop
the ball.
Zlatan and get Mickey on the bench. Good point. I don't want to see Zlatan playing.
Give him the free kick. Gave advantage Southampton, didn't he? And they didn't quite pan out that way. Yeah. Interesting one that from Graham Scott. Tadic was being shoved, was he? I don't think too much in that really. I thought it was a fair challenge that, but who am I to judge really what the referee says? And will be a free kick for Southampton then. Just a few yards from the right of the edge of the penalty area. So left-footed delivery will come in from Dusan Tadic. And there's two-man war for Tottenham. And plenty of bodies in the box. Tadic delivers, goes low, cleared away by Rose, back to Tadic again. A couple of side steps, so three men around him straight away, gets to the byline, right foot across, wins his side a corner kick.
Yeah, I thought he always wanted to come in on the left there, so good to see for once Tadic is happy to go on that right foot. I don't know whether he just all the other avenues were closed off, but wins a corner, keeps him on the front foot.
Certainly does. All into the box, headed away by Sissoko. Back in again then by Tadic, who actually goes back away from the Tottenham goal, moves it to McQueen. He's perhaps a bit more of a centre half than Target. That's why the ball played into the back post there, looking for Højbjerg. Højbjerg will wait, move the ball up. Got Sissoko with him, takes it into the corner. Does it come off Sissoko last? No, he pickpockets him and brings the ball away. Almost 90 minutes gone. Tottenham struggling to clear their lines. Winks has it now for Rose, back to Dyer, and Winks has it again and goes square to Sissoko, drives forward now over the halfway line. Lamela is one. Sissoko goes down under a challenge for Romeo and wins his side a free kick eventually from Graham Scott.
Yeah, nice little bit of skill from Sissoko through the legs of the Southampton man, and he's caught then just by the follow through, more clumsy than anything else, and I suppose won't be in any rush to get on with this.
We are waiting the Manchester United team
Eriksson,
news.
3 minutes additional time has been put up on the board. Comes Lamela. Lamela again goes backwards to Vertonghen. And he'll knock the ball back to Hugo Lloris, who takes his time a little bit. It's one touch, launches it down the right hand side. Looking for Kane, but easy header there from McQueen. And Lamela will win back the second ball in front of Oriol Romeo. Now for Danny Rose. And Tottenham just seeing this game through. Again, still searching for that sixth. A little bit disappointed they won't have got six, I think. Plenty of opportunities. Yeah. And they're going to get one now as Danny Rose drives through the middle, shoved over there by Højbjerg, and it is a free kick Tottenham's way. And I don't know how Højbjerg can complain about that.
He's on. I mean, the referee's reaction says it all, doesn't it? He's on a yellow card. Potentially could have picked up a second yellow card for that. Rose was moving into a good area of the field. I know the game is much of a nothingness now, so it would seem a bit silly to send someone off at this point, but you still have to go by the rules. And I think if the game was 0-0 there, you're potentially looking at a second yellow card, and he's got his marching orders. Rose had made a good run, was getting beyond the midfielder and maybe into an area to unleash a shot. So possibly for me, lucky to get away there without that sending off. And Eriksson over the free kick.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for goal, isn't there? There's a two-man wall, a man spare. There's plenty of players dotting about, but no, he goes short. Finds Lamella, and they're just going to see through time, aren't they, really, here? Tottenham, Eric Dyer on the halfway line, finds Sanchez, finds Aurier. In the middle is Eriksson now, right foot across comes in, Eriksson finds a little flick backwards, trying to find Lamella. Can he get into his right left boot? He can't. Rose is there free, and he couldn't quite find him. And there's a minute to go, and Southampton can break forward now with Tadic, and he finds Long, edge of the penalty area. Long and Gabbiadini's in the middle, back to goal though, back to Tadic, and somebody needs to shout there because Gabbiadini wins the ball back, cross to the back post, good header away though by, who's over that far side, Aurier, isn't it? Now Højbjerg, edge of the penalty area, finds Boufal, cuts in on his right boot, goes short to Tadic. Tadic holds the ball up, rolls it to Gabbiadini, strike, and it's wide of the left hand post of Hugo Lloris, and that should be that.
Yeah, just roll over the ball with the studs from Tadic. I don't think his teammate fully expected that ball to come to him as it did, but Gabbiadini strikes it well, just gets across it a bit too much, and it makes its way wide of that post. As you say, we're final 10 seconds now. I think that'll be all done and dusted, and I think everyone will accept that. A good way to start off the Boxing Day fixtures.
Absolutely. So the 3 minutes additional time is up. Lloris will take this goal kick, launches it straight down the middle. All eyes on Graham Scott, and that is full time. Tottenham 5, Southampton 2. Thanks for joining us.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off,